What's it called? The Drift HQ guys came over and Joel.
Yeah, a little rowdy.
Yeah, Joel just.
Well, if you get Salvio and Duarte, they're pretty,
Yeah. By the way, we're live.
Oh. Okay. Anyways, no, you're cheating.
Yeah.
You're watching.
I am cheating. Now I
Yeah.
get to save my battery.
Yeah, he wanted to know when.
Yeah.
That's fine. But if you get Duarte or Salvio,
Well, what happens
What happens with what?
if they curse?
Well, we just kind of want to keep it clean, and family friendly, and plus, I think with the way we have it set up on Mixer,
Is the genre or the?
yeah, we have a rating,
Okay. So
like
the
for
rating.
teen, so we can say ass, damn, whatever. But
Whoa! Hey! Whoa! Whoa! He's blowing up the airwaves now.
no.
Oh my God! Cover your children's eyes and ears.
Hey, I said teen, okay,
Okay.
not general audience or
Oh,
what's the
my
or
ears are
everybody. So
I think his goal is to be able to play it on his
Church.
church. Yeah.
Well,
Oh, yeah,
there's
that'll be
nothing
great.
wrong with that. You want to be able to show your friends and family, say, hey, watch this, and not have to be like,
No, I agree.
yeah.
I agree. No, I think everybody's kind of doing that nowadays, right? All
Well,
the YouTube guys.
I don't know.
All the YouTube guys, they don't. I mean, they bleep everything out.
Mostly, yeah, mostly. But I mean, there's some, other
there's going to be
forms of
slip ups.
podcasts or whatever.
There's
where
going to be
just-
people that you bring on that
yeah.
say certain things. And
No, I agree. We just gotta
Yeah.
let them know.
But we got to let them know ahead of time.
Yeah.
That hey, this is.
I think like Nick Ward realized, and he.
He kind of
apologized.
he cut back.
Well,
He
he's
cut back.
he's used to doing the interviews and video and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So, but since we're on the topic of Nick Ward,
We're gonna go there.
Okay.
we might as well. We're on the topic.
Yeah.
So,
Do we know anything really other than what the video show?
I only know what I overheard, and it was kind of a shame because as I was walking through the pits before he went out that session, I had talked to him, and I'm so used to his car being orange that I said, "Hey Nick, you driving today?" And he's like, "Yeah." And of course, his car is all over the place, but it's flat black with Texas Garage on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just still used to his car. In my head, I always think of his car being orange. So I was like, "Oh, that's right." And he's like, "Yeah, we're going back out now." So I was like, "All right, have a good time," and walked to my car. Next thing I know, I was like, "Oh, there's a car on fire."
Mm-hmm.
It's like, "Oh man, that sucks." It was Nick Ward's, and sure enough, you see it coming in, and we saw the after effect of it on the trailer, covered in white dust. And then I just overheard him talking to Chris something about an O-ring, and he changed it. I guess maybe it was on a fuel
Yeah,
rail or
I was
something.
right next to you when I heard. Yeah, I heard
So
that.
I don't know how accurate that is, but obviously
I mean, that's what it
was-
looked like. It looked like
Fuel fire.
some kind of fuel line burst or something like that.
Right. But what I thought was cool when I watched the video is people were just pulling over.
Yeah.
They got it out before the track officials got there. If they had wait,
But I think you see in the video, Nick's extinguisher ran out, and
Right.
then it was luckily somebody else came up.
I
with
think it was one of the
another-
barn built guys
Oh really?
came up. Well, actually, it was two other people. I think one of them was the barn built guys.
Wow.
They came up, and then Nick started. You see Nick just grabbing dirt and throwing dirt.
Yeah,
on it.
yeah. No,
I
that's
mean,
crazy.
So it was.
Luckily, he saved it because we see like remember when Fink was building his car.
Oh.
He built his whole car. He take it out for the first. I think it was like his first ride with it.
Yeah.
Blew a fuel line, and then he had no extinguisher and couldn't get it out, and then the whole car burned down.
Yeah.
you know?
That was terrible. That was
So
very.
luckily
sad.
he was able to get it out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I know that girl that was in the passenger seat when I watched the video, and I wasn't able to find it again. I don't know where I saw it.
It was on his Facebook.
It was on his Facebook.
I saw it too.
Okay, I was looking on his Instagram, but I saw the in car with the helmet cam, and that was pretty intense.
Yeah, you can see the flames coming up. And,
Right, right.
it was-
But that poor, I could just hear the girl. How do I get out? How do I get out? And she, I mean, Nick was just.
No, luckily
grabbing
luckily Nick didn't freak out, and he just jumped right in there with the fire extinguisher and got
And
it.
had other people come and help him, but
A lot of people just freak out and run away, and he just.
then apparently they dropped his car off the. I didn't notice that when
What?
I guess they dropped his car, like they didn't lower his car all the way completely off the tow truck, and the back end dropped on the ground, like they dropped it
really?
from. Yeah,
Oh wow.
I believe.
don't know.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there's his car there now.
Yeah.
So can the people see that as?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
he can
Yeah. So
change
that's
it.
his car now, but like I said,
When we first met him, it was
orange.
wrapped.
Yeah,
It was an orange. It said, I think It's a drift house, isn't it?
Yeah, I forgot exactly
I think
what it
it's
said,
a
but it was
drift house.
orange, black, and
Said something.
silver, something like that.
That
Orange,
was
black.
more orange than anything else.
Yeah, mostly orange.
I
Mostly
remember
orange.
he came in and I checked his car and I'm like, wow. I was like, you
Yeah.
don't see a car like this down here.
Not a county line. Not a
I
county
said,
line.
like, you don't see a car so pretty.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Well, he came from Georgia, and I actually met him a little bit. Got to do an event with him at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. It was a KMS event.
Oh,
And
he did that one?
He did that event. That was an event when I went to go try to do Rotorland and I failed tech. That's a whole nother story. And then went to the KMS event and ended up raining most of the event, so it was like a monsoon. But I got to meet.
that big splash picture.
Oh yeah, it was like riding a jet ski. When it's you just when you hit the waves and it hits you in the face, that's how it was drifting that day. I was like, you just and it was pretty bad. But I got to meet Dai Yoshihara,
Oh, okay.
and he
Wow.
came out. And that was before anybody. Wisefab wasn't FD legal yet, so nobody
Right.
was running
Yeah,
Wisefab.
you were like one of the first ones with lights.
I would think I was the first E30 with. Or
I think you were
maybe-
the first one with the lights.
No, I think one other person had it, but I don't remember.
But I mean, there was nobody. There was like literally nobody.
Right.
had
When
it.
I came out there and I was, everybody was like, "Wow, that car gets a lot."
That
of
was
people."
when Eki had sole rights to sell,
Wisefab on the East.
Wisefab.
Yeah, he had the East Coast. Yep,
Yeah.
that was
and then
Eki,
what's
he
his
was
name?
with EST Performance. was
EST,
his,
yeah.
And Essa, Mike Essa had West Coast rights. I think that's what it was.
Yeah, but
Yes,
he could. But
something
he
like
couldn't run it yet, though. He could only sell it.
yeah,
but
it wasn't approved.
It wasn't approved yet
Yeah.
until like 3
Well,
years.
But
it's because of they wouldn't let him run the coil the top hat adjustments.
Yeah, because the actual strut didn't come up to where it was
Which
That was such a
originally.
stupid idea.
That was stupid.
Yeah, it was
because
dumb.
especially at the time when you had other pro cars that were bending rules
Probably
left
were
and
doing
right,
that.
Yeah.
and doing a way other, worse. Well, I can say worse, but
Like Haswell's car. I mean,
yeah,
his TC. That
Yeah, of
thing
course.
Was, freaking Frankenstein car.
but
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Haswell's a great guy, but that car was not. It shouldn't have been legal.
No.
Or not Haswell's car. I'm thinking.
You're thinking
I
Ryan Turk.
I think
Tanner-
no, I'm not-
Tanner Faust.
Oh,
That's
Tanner
what I'm
Faust.
thinking.
Tanner Faust. That thing was.
That thing was.
That was a
just,
monstrosity.
That was just a tube and shell
Yeah,
car.
that was
But
a
they-
NASCAR with a TC body on
But they
it.
don't really have any restrictions. It's some of the restrictions that they can't, like
Well,
the
you
roll
have
cage can't go through the firewall.
one
Some of
did.
the huh?
That one
But-
had a roll cage.
I know, but
Yeah.
but the rule book said it couldn't protrude the firewall, or some of those safety things that you think that should be okay weren't.
I don't
It
think
was-
I don't think it's safety things. I think they're just trying to keep people from building just tube and shell cars. You know,
it's yeah,
tube
Yeah.
chassis.
right.
Yeah,
But they don't have classes. They need to break it down in the classes. I think right now it's just too free. We're kind of getting off the topic there. But anyways, so
yeah.
Nick Ward,
Nick
right?
Nick Ward,
Nick
that's
Ward.
what we're talking about.
Yeah, Nick Ward.
Nick Ward. So, but so it was a good thing he was able to save his car, and I don't know how much
I
damage.
think it goes to show that everybody should have at least a fire extinguisher or two in their car. Maybe
Yeah.
one in their engine bay and one in their cockpit.
Well, like a actual extinguishing system with the hoses.
No,
and-
not extinguishing systems. At least just have two fire extinguishers.
Yeah,
Because you see, Nick Ward ran out. Like if there was nobody else there,
his car would have been done.
he
Yeah.
didn't, I don't think he could. I'm pretty sure from the video that I saw, he ran out. I mean, maybe he'll comment or something, but I'm pretty sure it ran out, and there was somebody else that came and also helped. And then when
Just, I want to say there was at least two other people with him, so it was good to see that he saved it. But all in all, it was a great event. I don't know if there was
so many people,
there was a lot of people,
so many drivers.
but that, like I was saying at the track, is that the seat has really grown a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the weird thing about it is, like, when the scene when we're in, we had the forums, and now I don't think anybody goes on forums.
No.
Does anybody go on, like, not forget about the SFLDrifters forums, but any forums? Does anybody go on any sort of
The
forum?
only
Our forums
the only
are popular?
forums that
Are
I
forums
that I
still
know of,
popular?
the only forums that I know of that are like still going are like the ones that were already huge,
Like huge ones.
like you know,
Zip tied or
Zip Tide or
Zip Tide's still
Zilvia.
Zilvia.
Those are still going.
Zilvia E46 Fanatics is still going on. Like, you know, there's several. I know Club 4AG is still going on, but it's been kind of dying out as the car has been as well.
More like enthusiast, like really hardcore enthusiast based forums, maybe. But
Yeah,
when I'm trying to search up stuff to work on the Z, I'll go to these different Z forums and you look at the dates. So I'll look. I was like, oh, this looks, and then I look at the date. I was like, well, that was like last year.
Yeah.
So
It's like I'm looking for the Volvo stuff. It's like everything is
Turbo bricks?
2012, 2011, 2009.
Even turbo
2008.
bricks?
Turbo
Like,
bricks, yeah.
wow.
isn't there KT4?
I mean, there's still people posting, but I'm saying most of the meat is back then.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's not. There's not like anybody in 2019 posting anything real.
I mean,
Well, let me ask you this: is it still relevant?
That's why I don't think it is.
The information.
The relevant? Oh, the information? No, I don't think it's relevant either because there's new. Like if you only had Rev Limited information for E30s,
E30 Tech.
in 2009, 2012. Now you go to E30s. I mean, God, there's so many parts for E30s now.
There are.
yeah.
And they're still making them like Max Power. Was
you
it
got
Max Power?
Garagistic,
Garage-
those
yeah,
people are- they're doing
Garagetastic,
a ton of-
Garagetastic,
or
yeah.
whatever
Yeah, they do a
they're
lot of
doing a
stuff.
ton of stuff for E30s. I mean, there's a bunch of people now doing stuff for E30s.
There is a
where
lot more.
Yeah.
When we got into them, when Eric Mal was
Yeah,
driving.
that's the reason why I bought my E30.
Yeah, the only reason me and Timmy bought E30s was because Timmy crashed into Eric Mal's car
With a golf cart.
with a golf cart and dented the door. And
Why kinda?
Tim felt bad.
How long ago was this?
It was a long time ago, man. The 2000,
Ew, had to be before I had.
2007?
7, 8.
Yeah, 2007.
Yeah, it had to be almost
Had to be
10 years.
2007.
10 years ago.
Had to be 2007.
Might be
That's
12
10
years ago.
That's
You
10 years ago.
think so?
We're 2020.
Yeah. Well,
Wow.
now that we're going into
2020,
2020, that sounds like 13 years ago.
Yeah, I don't want to tell anybody how long I've been doing this for because they suck. When I go out there, I'm like, I should be killing this.
13.
I should be killing this. I would
13
spend.
years behind the wheel.
Oh, that's horrible. But most of the
We
time,
actually started in 2004 with the RX-8.
yeah, first event
We
I
slid into a
crashed.
ditch.
Oh, that was over here.
Yeah, we slid into a ditch and
I almost hit a tree.
Yeah, we had to pull it out of the ditch.
Ooh.
Yep, had to pull it out of the ditch.
Then we were sliding that commercial in Sawgrass, and then you got almost arrested.
Yeah,
And then we said, you know,
I
we
can't
gotta
get away
find
with
a track.
anything. I can't get away with anything. Yeah, after that, I was
Oh,
like,
you know what? No, you did. We decided to go to a track event. We went all the way to Punta Gorda.
Punta
You
Gorda.
crashed the RX-8 into the wall.
yeah, that was during a Nopi.
And then we were like, shoot, we need another car, so you bought the Vert.
Yep, and that was during a Nopi drift event. It was a qualifying event, my very first event, and it was on an oval track. And of course, I didn't know about the secret button press thing
Yeah, he was drifting with
That was-
traction control.
with traffic control. Okay, so
I mean, to go back to the point of like are forums still relevant or not? I mean, honestly, what's been taken over is
he was this is stupid.
What
I
is
don't
it?
I want to change this. We're gonna steer it back to the
you
forums.
guys are going way
I
off.
don't like it. Yeah, Tim. Blah, 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 blah. Go back to what I'm saying.
But anyway, just to go back to that, I mean, I think what's been taken over is Facebook groups.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
Facebook groups for Beamers, Facebook groups for Volvos.
Yeah, there's all kinds of different things. I mean, like forums have become irrelevant due to Facebook.
I just
groups.
found out we had an SFL Drifters group.
Yeah,
we do.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
What?
yeah. There's an SFL Drifters group, but it's not very updated. And a lot of people don't use it.
Noel is running it by himself. I don't know if you know this.
Well,
Are you really?
barely.
Look,
Like
he's
Wait, one
been-
second.
Yeah, he started it himself.
This is the first I've heard of this.
Oh, he
Just
didn't
so
tell
know
you?
that. This is, no,
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, no, Noel started the
You
SFL
started without
Drifters
telling
group.
Ben?
no, I didn't
He
start. this.
started it, and he labeled himself founder.
What else haven't you been telling me?
Okay, let's see. Hold
Look,
on a
no,
second.
look it up. I found it the other day, and he's got a bunch of posts from Noel.
Yeah, well, I mean,
He's speechless right now.
I found it
Interesting.
myself. but-
Interesting.
Come on, SFL.
Yeah, he added me. I requested to be added, and
Yeah.
Noel that added me.
Do you let you be
Yeah.
an admin?
Yeah.
Admin?
No, he didn't. I have no admin status. Search
South
SFL
Florida
Drifter.
bang bang party time.
That's it.
That's it. No, it's not.
Are you sure? No, that's
South,
not it.
South
No.
FLA Drifters bang bang party
No,
time.
that's a whole
Zero
nother-
drama hangout.
No, that's a whole nother.
No, that was.
All right, hang on.
You
Let
gotta
me
go groups.
let me look it up.
Oh,
on my
groups.
phone.
You got to
Groups.
go to groups. Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
it?
There you go.
I don't see it. I see International Drift Cartel.
Right here.
I got you, bro. I got you. Hang on.
Let's find out.
Maybe you blocked me.
Maybe I did.
Oh, that's what he blocked.
SFLDrifters.com. You got to put SFL Drifters.
No, I just
Oh,
put
it's
SFL
not.
Drifters. I didn't put .com.
No, well, that's
Maybe you have an old.
FL.
Oh, maybe I did put .com. Oh shoot.
yeah.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it's got 163 members.
Whoa.
And Noel is the lead poster on this.
Well-
Noel.
Of course.
Noel. Noel.
Hey, he's keeping it alive. What?
I'm trying. I'm trying,
picture,
guys.
What picture is that?
Noel.
That is, I don't know. I think that car's
That
from
looks
New Zealand or something.
It's SFLDrifters, and you're posting up pictures of cars from New Zealand?
I didn't post that picture. But that's a pretty dope car, though. You gotta, he did. It was
did.
him.
He
It
totally
wasn't
picked
me.
that one out.
It wasn't me.
It had to be you.
Noel Garcia. Noel Garcia.
Well, anyways.
All right, let's.
Oh, Damien posted up on there December 4th.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, but all right.
He's
let's
making
see.
stickers.
Let's see who started this.
Oh,
thing.
is he making the stickers?
He's making SFLDrifters stickers.
Did you know this was going on?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Let's see.
He told me about it. He sent me a message. He told me
Guillermo
ahead of
is
time.
an
He's like, hey,
admin. You
look,
see,
would you
Guillermo
be
started it.
interested?
Oh, Guillermo did it.
And then
I
next thing you
guess.
know,
Because he's the
that
only
happens.
admin.
But unlike Noel, who decides to tell me, like
Well,
a year after it's been put together.
It's not really too old. Okay, so August
It's really
17th,
not.
2016. SFLDrifters go to county line.
Wait, what?
This was a protest.
Oh.
That's the Mo
I'm like, they're
protest.
drifting
Yeah.
after?
They're Mo testing.
So
Where's Mo?
lately, I've been posting in it just to see if we can, get a little interest going. But still,
I think the only chance for it is Facebook, really, because that's where everybody's at.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
most of
Well, I mean, if we can kind
because
of,
Instagram is just about pictures. Really.
yeah,
But unfortunately, I like Instagram just because there's so much drama on Facebook.
Yeah, but I'm saying if you
Yeah.
stick to the groups, there's no drama.
Oh,
I
guess.
think there's drama in the groups too. But
Well, I don't know what in the groups I hang out.
Oh, there's always
Yeah.
well, the groups are just gonna be like forum drama.
oh,
Yeah,
that's
that's-
true.
no
That's
drama.
true. Hey, that was fun 10 years ago, but I don't know if I'm ready for more.
I don't think
of that.
I think forums are done. I
Yeah.
think unless I don't honestly. I've never been on a. Maybe I'm just too old now.
Hmm.
But
Yeah,
I
we all
just,
got our grays.
I got a gray hair. Yeah. I don't go on any forums. Like I literally search Google if I need to find something, and if it's
Yeah.
on a forum, I use it.
Or
Yeah.
YouTube, you find information, a lot of good information.
Yeah,
on
there's a lot of
YouTube.
stuff on
Yeah,
YouTube. But
that's-
where
that's
is the
awesome, too.
community really gonna meet again for
Well,
this time?
they do. If you
Are
look,
they? I mean, they must be doing something,
Yeah,
right?
they
Where
are.
are they meeting? Where are they hanging out? How are they
well,
communicating with each other?
phone.
No,
but
on
okay,
Facebook
Drift
groups that
Episode-
we're
the-
not
the-
invited to.
The drift,
Maybe that's what it is.
the drift lepsy guy. He
You go-
Drift for epilepsy, yeah.
Who's
drift
that
rep.
guy?
I don't know who exactly who he is, but he started a meet and apparently did really well. In last a couple weeks ago,
Oh,
I heard it was really it was done really well.
I didn't go, but
No, I didn't go. I wanted to go, but it was Christmas coming up and all the shopping and everything.
and especially for you, it's very far. It's because it's down south. It's in
No,
Miami,
it's-
like deep in Miami. Isn't it?
No, it was right at the bend.
Oh, was it?
75. I
I
think.
thought it.
Maybe I'm
Oh,
wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. But I think
Maybe
it was-
I'm wrong. I don't know.
I don't know. So
Maybe we're
wrong.
both wrong.
But how did the SFL Drifter barbecue went? That went pretty good. You guys got a good
Oh
turnout.
yeah,
good.
yeah, that was great.
You weren't there,
Yeah,
right?
I was there.
When?
This was November.
I know. I
10th,
was there.
Oh yeah, you were there.
Were you there?
Yeah, I was there. I
I
had
remember you
I had
there.
the Aaron Rodgers
I
jersey
don't
on.
remember you being there. Ben was not there.
I don't think
Yeah,
he knows.
sadly,
Aaron
Ben
Rodgers.
wasn't there.
Do you know who Aaron Rodgers is?
Who's Aaron Rodgers?
So-
Okay,
I had the Aaron
I had a
Rodgers jersey
football
on.
jersey on.
Oh yeah, you know what? I do remember you there because
Yeah.
you were said it was Sunday and football's on, and
Yeah.
you're surprised that you're even here.
Yeah, and I started watching the Green Bay game
Yeah,
on my
yeah,
phone
right.
while I was there.
I was hanging out with Rod though. I was hanging out with
Yeah.
Rod and
I was kind of.
Christopher Cashman.
Yeah, I didn't get to make it. I was in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, that's right. You were in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
That
was
was pretty
hanging
cool.
out with everybody.
I
so-
did donate though. Try to
Yeah, I did
help
see
for
you.
the thing, but
That was
I couldn't make
cool.
it.
I mean, it wasn't,
Well,
It was-
the turnout was pretty
Pretty
good. It was.
but it was still a lot. I mean, it was. I mean, to me, it really wasn't. I mean, they had some. I mean, there was some really old OG guys, and then there was a lot of the newer guys.
But that's good. That's
Yeah.
that's the way. That's
I mean,
what
not
we-
new guys now, but new
Hold
guys
on,
back
but-
then.
I was on the understanding that it was supposed to be like OG invite only.
Well, I mean, I think it was like not. It wasn't OGs like back when you guys were around and back when we first got in there. It was like the last couple of years of County Line guys.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
fine. I mean,
Well-
that's OG status now.
Yeah,
like I
now-
said at the
Yeah.
event when we were doing County Line, all the people that were OG status was Juan
I mean,
and
Juan was
Ben
there.
and
Juan,
Harry
Rod
and I don't know, a bunch of the other guys.
Yeah.
Sean
SD
and the Aero K guys
Ryan.
and Ryan. Those
Yeah.
were
Wait, how far back are you?
I don't know. You
we're
told
not-
me
we
because
didn't get-
you
we
were
didn't get-
around.
We didn't get back to your era.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Who was the OG guys like when you first started?
Down at
One
Hialeah
was
Speedway.
the Hialeah Speedway days. I guess would be the original South Florida OG guys. The guys that were hitting up Orlando Speedway. Terry.
There's a
From
bunch of
Terry?
guys. You're talking about, well, not only from drivers but also spectators. So, and you also have some guys that were from out of town.
Well, what's considered OG? Do you have to be a driver to be even?
Like Sebastian was
Or do you-
OG, right?
Yeah, because in 2004 I was a spectator. Like I was going to all the Hialeah events, but I wasn't like, and I would participate in the forums and whatever, but I wasn't driving. So.
Does that qualify you as any kind of status or
And
as a spectator? Or are we only? I'm only talking about drivers.
There were so many different eras.
But then, yeah.
Because like even me and Tim were after you guys. Most of you guys
Yeah.
stopped because we came in as you guys just lost Hialeah. You guys just lost Hialeah Speedway, turned into Lowe's.
We didn't just. It wasn't that we just
was a
lost
couple
it.
years.
We lost it, and then we were then hitting up Orlando.
And the Nopi.
Yeah.
The Nopi
and
was
the
big.
Nopi
then.
event,
Nobody.
and
Yeah.
we were doing the Orlando Speed World. Then there
I
was
was
an
saying there
event.
wasn't any regular events, so it was kind of like how it is now. Well, down here now, where there's
Yeah,
no-
exactly. What happened when Highland Speedway went down is similar to what happened when County Line went down.
Exactly.
Where like we had no local events, and we had to transition over to going out of town to just go to events.
Exactly.
And County
Right.
Line really spoiled. I mean, we were doing skid pad events every other week.
Yeah.
Like every other weekend, we were doing a skid pad for at the beginning, and then
Can
we
you
switched it.
imagine-
Then we switch it to like every
Look,
month. I think we did.
Can you
one.
imagine if County Line was open now? How much more drifters we would get? 'Cause
I
look
don't
at how
know
many
if it would
drivers
fit
there
in there now because there's a lot of drivers.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Too many
drivers.
We would have to cap it. We had to do pre-register and cap it. Every,
The facility's not
also-
big enough to handle 70 drivers, 60, 70 drivers.
Also,
Unless we
PBIR,
run both tracks. both
PBIR,
layouts.
I think its
Yeah,
location really helps with.
we would have to close the
That's fine,
parking
we can-
at the gate.
We can interrupt me. That's fine.
he was trying to say something. Just
What were
totally
you
kind of-
saying?
I was saying that PBIR, its location actually caters
terrible.
caters to like people from other markets or other areas in Florida, not just
Yeah, but
because.
we can keep PBR, but we need one down here.
Oh no, we definitely need one down here. I'm not.
But what Noah's point is that the reason why PBR gets so many drivers is because there's a lot of drivers in West Palm and north of West Palm
You don't
that
think
come to
there's
West
more
Palm.
drivers in Miami?
Even
than Broward?
If you're going,
we followed a guy all the way from Broward.
I'm not saying that there may be more drivers, but it's a combination of all those drivers and all the South drivers meeting at PBIR makes the event
And
big.
you get people out west coming too. I mean,
The West Coast.
Tampa, Port
the
Charlotte, all
Drift
that.
HQ or West Coast?
Don't
Yeah.
those guys have events over there in like DeSoto?
No.
No.
DeSoto, I think, is done. I know they do.
Has it been done? Yeah, I think it's been.
I have no idea.
I have no idea. Yeah. I know
Let's
they do
look it up
Auburndale.
on Facebook.
Adam LZ was just over there. doing
Auburndale?
drag race.
Was it?
No, at DeSoto, he was doing drag races.
Yeah, but that's north. That's like that's even north of Orlando, isn't it? On the
DeSoto?
west. Yeah, DeSoto's like Gainesville-ish, isn't it?
No. DeSoto is just north.
No,
of
DeSoto is far west.
It's north of
Bradenton, Sarasota.
It's north of Sarasota.
Oh, it's north of Sarasota.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so the last thing I see on the DeSoto Drift Facebook page is from 2017. So yeah,
So they're done.
safe to say that they're done.
What happened with Punta Gorda? I mean, they were drifting there. So
Three Palms. Three
Oh.
Palms. That was what? Yeah, what did happen with that?
So there was a fiasco that occurred that sort of basically came to light when they did that licensing, FD licensing series.
Yeah.
And they made promises and they didn't come through, and then there was some legal issues that came to light where they didn't pay some people,
That's the
and
worst thing is they just need somebody there that wants to build a drift community, like we did with
County Line.
County Line. Never once did Tim or I or Ben when we were doing that take any kind of cut from anything.
No, everything that we would make
We'd go straight to
would go straight buying cones,
and-
buying clipping cones, and we
Yeah.
had to print our own paper.
Wait, we bought cones?
Yeah, we bought
the
cones.
clipping points.
We bought the clipping.
Ah,
Well, the
Yeah.
cones I
The
asked.
cones were donated
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're
from
donated.
Bob's Barricades.
Yeah, it's from Bob's
Yeah.
Barricades. Yes, donated. So we may or may have not allegedly offered discounts for driving for cones. Allegedly. May have. Anyways.
okay.
But yeah, we had to pay for all our own supplies.
I mean,
The speakers that we bought for the sound system, all
Yeah,
these
it's all
cables
over
they
there.
still have.
everything we have.
That was all purchased through whatever little bit that we would get from the track. Actually, when I bought a tire changer and started bringing the tire changer to the track, that I would make money off that. But then, like I said, that would just be reinvested into whatever we could do with
We turn that into pot money,
Yeah, I would give everybody as much as I could, and then try to save some because I knew there was always another event coming. I would need that money.
We bought trophies. We made trophies.
Made trophies, bought
we gave-
trophies.
Remember when we were doing those challenges? And
The basketball challenges?
no, not that. I'm talking about where I don't know what it was, but we were doing some challenges, and then at the end, you would pose with the people for the camera.
Oh, that's right.
with
We used to
the-
do the money giveaway. Yeah,
Yeah.
we would do the money giveaway for different little challenges at the skid pad, and we give, I don't know, $40, $50. It wasn't much, and I would shake. Like I think I had one.
Yeah.
Shaking Jason,
JJ.
JJ's hand. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and also who's
What happened
this?
to JJ? Did he stop?
He hasn't. I haven't seen him drive.
I haven't seen him drive.
I haven't seen him much either on Facebook or
I
any
think-
social media.
I think they were doing mountain biking pretty heavy. They got pretty heavy into mountain biking. Him and his girlfriend.
Everybody's kind of. It's so weird where everybody's at.
Well, what happens was it's the same thing that's going to happen to the guys now that are hitting the events like crazy. Life, man. Like you have kids, or you get married, or you move, or you have a new career, and you got to dedicate time to that, and you got to prioritize. And it took me away. Well, really, once County Line shut down, that's what drowned us out. We kind of just
I
dropped
sold
off.
everything.
Yeah.
Sold all my stuff.
Yeah.
Paul was like, fire sale!
I think at one time Ben wanted to buy my car.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I said, Ben, no.
What?
Yeah, you asked me about the E30. You said, you think I could buy that and drift it? I'm like, no, Ben. It's
I don't remember any of
yeah,
that.
you texted me once, and I was like, no, Ben, the car's in pieces, man. You can't. There's nothing
Yeah,
saving it.
When County Line closed, I moved away again. I was like, all right, it's over.
So when the going gets tough, he gets moving.
He leaves.
Yep.
He leaves.
Yeah, I just
Traitor.
Oh, so now we know if PBR closes, no one will be leaving again.
Oh, God.
Be gone. Yeah. You should just say, go, Noel, go. Instead of go, Pat, go.
So Chris Jackson's going to be having a series? Does anybody know?
Okay, so
We have information? Are you allowed to let
I don't have all the details, and Chris will probably get mad at me, but I know there have been talks with certain people that have
We're all
bigger
over the
events.
place, just so you know. Sorry to cut that in, but we're all over the place.
Yeah,
but
we are.
that's
Well,
fine.
he just-
That's
No,
fine.
let's
Let's
get on.
just ramble on.
Keep the ball rolling.
Yeah. So, well, I don't know how we got into topic, but from what I understand is there
We were talking about tracks.
we are talking about tracks. So he's going to do a series. I don't know if it's going to be affiliated with anybody this year, but maybe hopefully some year it'll be affiliated with a certain organization. Chris is going to kill me.
Like,
But I don't know the details. But he's going to go ahead and
It's
start.
gonna be D1 Pro Series, right?
Yeah, D1 Pro Series.
Okay.
Street.
Street Pro.
Yeah.
You gotta get banned
I'm going to use that. Well, there's nothing to ban me from. There's no forums. What are you going to do? Ban me from Facebook?
He's gonna
from the
be-
tracks, all the tracks.
Oh, man. I'll have to come up with an alias. Actually, I haven't. I came up with an alias.
What is it?
Well, don't share it.
It's Hans Ziegler.
Hans Ziegler?
It's not Tim. It's
You'll
Tom.
never know Hans.
Hans.
No, I don't know. But anyways,
You're gonna end up like your brother doing a fire sale, selling everything. Once you find out that you're banned from the tracks.
yeah, we're banned. But he is. I think he's trying to do a series on his own this year through Florida. But I don't, as far as dates and everything, I don't think he's got any
You
dates.
think anybody's actually going to do that? You think there's actually guys that want to be competitive? I mean,
You
do
do
we
have.
do we have a next topic? Or should, I assume we should probably move on.
Well, it's a good question, and I look back. It's funny you mentioned that because I was going back to old posts on the forums, something that many people here don't do, from what it sounds like.
Actually, I did get on SFL Drifters. About
I got
a month
on the
ago.
Drifters, SFL Drifters, when they said they were going to have the meet.
Yes.
I went
Yeah.
on there to see if there was any life.
Little spark.
Okay, so
And
I was looking through all of the old posts, and I was noticing the amount of activity, particularly with the media, in regards to the Kenny Line series. And
Yeah.
it's interesting how, from one perspective, you had the drivers who weren't really a fan of the series. I
No,
remember
yeah.
recall like a lot of drivers saying like, "Oh,
Just wanna
these
drift for
competitions sucks."
Keep drifting fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh yeah, why were they? Yeah, they didn't like the competitions.
Well, because
they
they wanted to drive on the big track just for fun. But that's why they would go to the competitions anyway.
Because they wouldn't get enough seat time. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it would be a competition.
But
Yeah.
the competition was good. One thing that's good about competition is it builds you as a driver.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It builds you as a driver, forces you to be consistent, and it puts that added pressure on you to get used to driving under pressure. So I learned the most when I was in that brief Pro-Am season I did. As a driver, I learned a lot, and I was a lot more confident. Now I got to try to get all that back. I will say that PBIR is definitely, if I was going to describe the vibe, it's a keep drifting fun drive. Totally, everybody just tandeming, having a blast. Everybody has a good time. It's just hanging out.
It's not competitive. At all.
Not competitive at all, but everybody just hanging out, having a good time. And I think for now, I think that's good for what the scene is. But I think Chris trying to put together a series, I think that's good as well, because I think there are people like the Drift HQ guys, and maybe there are a few guys that want to pursue a Pro-Am career, and you need that experience, that competition experience, even in just a grassroots style, to get you prepared for Pro-Am. Because to go from a let's keep drifting fun vibe like PBIR is, and try to take that driving to a competition level, they're going to go and it's going to be really difficult for them to adjust to that pressure. You know, look, I mean, like Alex Schlegel, he was killing it, but most of his events I think were like a keep drifting fun kind of vibe, and you'd watch his videos and he's killing it. And when you move into that Pro-Am level, it's a whole nother world.
Of course.
But bro, I don't want to go pro. I
And that's
don't want to
fine.
put a cage. I just want to practice.
Well,
I
he
just
wants
want
to
seat
play
time.
That's how I am right now. That's how I feel. Well, I'm forced to feel that way because Chris Jackson hasn't finished my car. But shout out to Chris Jackson, Jack's Performance at his new shop. My car is still there 3 years later. It's gone through, I think, 10 employees.
But the way I see it is, yes, we've had many years of keep drifting fun style events, and like, you know, people are just out like, but have they been bettering themselves through these events? Is it time for them to step into maybe not a full year of competition, but like a couple events a year, you know, to like.
I think competition's
OSW,
good.
I was looking at their schedule, and they have like a drift event every month.
Yeah. I'm definitely going to make up to those.
But they have competition events, right? Because it looks like from when I saw, it looks like they have a competition.
I think they do.
Well, I know the first event is I guess they use that to gauge people and put them in driver
It
class.
says class, yeah. It says
So they're gonna do, which I think that's a good idea. I think that's a good idea.
So the schedule says, yeah, so they have a class qualifier on January 11th, and then February 2nd they have Sunday Fun Day, and then they have Learner's Day night event.
They do clinics.
Was that a clinic? Okay.
They do clinics. What's good is that the Orlando area has
They stole Tandemonium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was going to
I
happen
saw
sooner or
that.
later. But you know, see, that's the thing is Jackson did.
Wait a
Tandemonium.
minute. Are you serious?
Yes. Look right here. They stole the name Tandemonium from us.
For those that don't know, if you were back in the county line days, we did Tandemonium event.
We were the
we
only
were the
person
first
that done
one
Tandemonium.
to do a Tandemonium event. And I would probably say that was 7 years ago. It's a good name. Hey,
Yeah.
so what?
You should have trademarked it.
Yeah, they would have just called it.
That was me and
the King of County Line. That was something that we did
King of
like
County Line.
how many years ago?
Somebody else is doing a King series.
Yeah,
I thought it was OSW.
I don't know.
I gotta wonder how long will it take to see a queen of
where's that?
whatever.
I don't think they have enough female
Orlando.
drivers.
Is there any female
County
drivers
line.
at PBR?
Yeah, Sarah Harrell.
Yeah.
No,
And
I mean-
then
I mean-
Chris
no, I
Chris
mean-
Maffey, Chris Maffey's girlfriend.
Yeah,
she's-
Brittany
she
Maffey,
does good,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, she's
She
real
does
good.
really good. Yeah,
But there's
She's
not
real
other
good
than
driver.
that.
but she's like under the well. I guess if you're in the scene, she's not. But like promotion and marketing wise,
I'm not talking about
you-
marketing wise. I'm just
Well,
talking about
like it.
some girl that shows up with her car, like other not like
Chris's
I mean,
girl.
Sarah Harrow is an oddity, I guess.
Oddity. I don't know if that's a compliment or.
No, I mean she's not.
Well, because
you don't
of the
see that.
series.
It's not normally.
Yeah, that's not
Yeah,
normal.
That's normal.
Well, you had-
See.
Kelsey, and she
Rowan?
was she was.
She's trying to get like a girls' day going at OSW.
Oh, she is.
All right.
Yeah,
Oh, well, there you
I
go.
saw that. And I don't know, that's pretty cool. You know,
I think it's great.
I mean, if we could get a little more diversity in our.
I think it's gonna be hard. You're not gonna-
I
you're
don't
not
think
gonna
it
do
makes or
much.
breaks a scene. I think it's good, and I think it's good to build the fan base of the sport.
Mhm.
And if starting an all-girl squad or all-girl drifting, I think that's great because what it's going to do if the more people are going to be exposed to drifting, and it's going to just help the sport altogether.
Well, what I was saying with the OSW having an event every month is that if Chris or anybody's going to do competitive events, they need to also have some buffer events in between.
Right.
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 Because that was the biggest thing at County Line is that we were throwing King of County Lines all the time or competition events for a while because that's when Pro-Am was big. I mean, I think at that time Bert was doing Pro-Am.
Yeah, and they were going all through Virginia.
Jackson was doing Pro-Am. All these guys were doing Pro-Am, so we were like, everybody was pretty much like competitive mind. So we were doing competitive type events
to try to help those guys.
help those guys be more competitive.
Yeah.
Right.
And then we had people complaining, hey, there's not. I think it's Sean McQueen that was complaining. Didn't he
No,
complain
Sean
about-
McQueen.
No,
No,
he
Sean
was-
McQueen was all into the
Yeah, he was
competing.
very competitive.
Yeah, he
There was
loved it.
somebody that was complaining about just not getting enough seat time at the competition events.
I don't know, but
Maybe it was the guys that weren't doing that good.
Like me.
because you never competed.
No, I never competed. I never
did County
competed, but I was like, I don't want to compete because I'm gonna
Yeah, a lot of people
get my
didn't
butt
want to
whooped.
But I think when I did talk to Jackson, he was saying that they would be like every other month. It wasn't going to be like back to back to back to back to back. It
Well,
was
how
gonna
many
be-
events does he really do? I mean, because I'm just coming into this
After-
since August, I think it was when I first drift event back in whenever you bought this. So I think I went to your first event in this thing.
Was that in August?
That was September. Was your first event with that car? Because it was the first event I had been to at PBIR this year after I moved back, and I remember you just got the car and
Oh, so okay, but I was volunteering, so it wasn't really like this last one was like my actual first full event where I wasn't volunteering, and I had time to actually just drive, and I'm just gonna keep doing that.
Yeah, no, you gotta.
I spent so many years organizing events as Paul and Ben and all you guys helping me.
We never got to drive.
We really never got to drive. Yeah, I was at all the events and I would drive the skid pad, but the skid pad was so small.
yeah,
It was basically just
It was second gear in a BMW, which second gear in a BMW is first gear in everybody else.
yeah. So
BMWs have no first gear. Like the first gear is like, whoa!
yeah.
But we made the most use of it as we could. We ran that skid pad to death.
Well, talking about competitions, and sort of trying to veer back into the main topic of this whole broadcast is, so you're talking about competitions and sort of the positive and negative effects that it has done to the community. So you've obviously experienced some of the competition over at the Sebring events.
Mm-hmm.
And
what about that?
in your opinion, how did you feel the vibe was about that? Obviously, I sort of experienced in some of the positivity and negativity and it comes to the territory. Not everybody's going to be happy with the judge's calls, and they're going to bring a protest and so forth.
That's usually the biggest part of it, where the complaints come from.
Adam LZ was driving those. That's right.
Yeah, not this year though.
No, that was last year.
Yeah,
Last year.
This year was the first one I went to.
Who's running those?
Chris
Jackson.
Oh, he is.
Yeah.
He's running them as competitions.
Yeah,
that's a competition event.
Yeah, he runs one competition a year there.
And it's 2 tracks, and he does a competition just like we did at the Sun Life Stadium. You got a solo comp, and then you have the tandem comp, which goes back kind of to the point. You go to PBAR, and there's a ton of drivers, but the tandem class is always the smallest class, I think,
Mm.
because you don't have that many caged cars. So when you go
Yeah,
to
there was
compete at
about
Sebring, you have what, 8 cars, 12 cars?
there was one time I think we couldn't even do a top 16, and I think we did.
That was
We
this
had
year.
like, yeah,
It was,
Yeah, but you did
uh,
it before.
we
had
did a
like
top 8.
cars.
We had exactly 8 cars. And we were like, I guess we're going with a top 8. And it's going to be a quick, 45-minute competition.
Because you don't have that many cars that are built for it.
Yeah.
Don't have the cages and even some.
I mean, luckily the drivers were pretty good at this year's event. So I mean, there wasn't any complaint about that. But I mean, who else can we get to step up into that?
That's what I'm saying. It's the community is now keep drifting fun.
Yeah, they go to Palm Bay. They go to the compound all the
They go
time.
to the compound,
Yeah.
yeah.
Which me and Paul are going to try to make a trip up there too.
That'll be awesome.
Palm Bay.
Yeah, you ever been there?
The compound.
It's
My-
by Melbourne.
You never heard of the compound?
No, he's
No.
Oh wow.
No, he doesn't get on Facebook.
That's right. He doesn't have
Or-
Facebook or
or-
Instagram.
Yeah.
Well, I found the compound because my wife's parents live. Their house is literally right next to the compound.
Oh, nice.
So I was driving to their house one day and I see like 10 240s driving towards the middle of nowhere. And I'm like, something's up with the tires strapped to their cars and everything. So
Yeah.
I went out there and watched, and they were sliding all over the place.
Yeah.
So it's to get you to bring you up to speed. It is like about
200 something.
200 miles of road.
Okay.
It was supposed to be development,
Okay.
but they never put any houses on there.
Oh.
So there's just roads and roads and roads and roads and roads.
Okay.
You can literally get lost in there if you don't have a GPS.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so they have a spot.
They have
Actually, I
a
was-
spot where it's got two kind of roundabouts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was talking in front of my Justin.
You can pull it up. I'll
He
show you
was-
exactly where it's at.
He
Here,
was,
hold on.
yeah, I was but I was talking in front of my Justin, and he was like, "Hey, yeah, let me know when you go. They'll go there on a drop of a dime.
Yeah.
One person say we want to go, and we're not talking at somewhere that's like county line. It's like
look,
half
there's
hour,
some
45
chats
minutes
over
away.
here
We're talking
too.
like a 2.5 hour drive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
To go up there, spend all day, and then when I was talking to Justin the other day, he was telling me that he was actually pulling his car in, and a cop pulled behind him. He's like, "Oh man,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get in trouble or whatever." You get that feeling you get when a cop pulls behind
Yeah.
you. And he said,
Oh, I just.
some to the effect that the cop went on a loudspeaker, said, "Oh, I got a 5.0 that'll smoke your import
Yeah.
or something,"
Yeah.
and then just kept driving. So the cops don't really care. There's from what he was saying that there's always something going on out there, whether it's a bunch of rednecks out there with their 4x4s tearing up going mudding and their 4-wheelers. People autocross out there.
Oh,
They
wow.
do like autocrossing.
Yeah,
so
it's
all go
set
out
up
there
well
and
for that
autocross.
too. Yeah.
And then they
Okay,
have a
that's got
section.
it.
Oh, he's got it.
Yep. There it is.
Okay, so that's the actual
You can
turn.
buy land there
Hey,
right there.
let me ask you something. You get Google Satellites actually has cars there,
Yeah.
like people when they're drifting. On
Well, I don't know if
Satellites.
they have people that are drifting.
Well, I
but-
mean, there's a
cars
bunch
there.
of cars in that spot. I bet you if you'll see a car drift, can you zoom in on?
No,
Yeah.
no.
Zoom in on that.
He zoomed out somehow.
He zoomed out.
Wait, hold on.
You
It's
ruined it, Ben.
on.
It's actually called the compound.
Yeah, somebody
Yeah.
put it on there on Google.
Oh wow, check that out.
Yeah.
Okay, look for
Oh,
those.
it's this
No,
right
it's
here,
not.
right?
It's not that. No, back up.
It's
Nope.
like
No, you keep go. Yeah, you go. Son, keep up. To your left.
Oh yeah, I see it right
There's
there.
right there. Zoom in.
right there.
Yeah, that's where they
Yeah,
drive.
zoom in on that. That's
Oh.
So
so
little-
everybody parks in that lollipop there.
Yep.
Yeah, look, there's a bunch of cars there.
No, there's no cars there. It's just dirt.
Oh, that's okay. No, it's just letters. I saw the letters. I thought it was
So
cars.
everybody's gonna be pissed off that we're showing this.
No, they're not. Everybody knows about it.
Oh wait, it's not a legitimate track.
No, this is not a track. This
no.
is a.
These are public roads.
This is an old. This is a neighborhood that never got built.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
the cat's out of the bag.
No, there's
It's
so many
okay. The
people that
cat's
go
been
out
out of the
there.
bag forever.
Dude, it's
It's
all
not-
over YouTube and everything.
Yeah.
Like Taylor Ray, Adam LZ, all them.
Yeah, they all been there and they
have
all
been
posted
there.
on
Yeah,
YouTube.
so hold on a second. So basically, from what I understand, is they do a right hand sweeper there where the arrow is. They go around there and then they manji that straight.
Yeah, they do a
And then
little
either
chicane
maybe they'll
there.
do that and then they'll come around and,
Yeah.
and
No,
no,
they go.
Oh,
They
okay.
go
go
that way.
this
They
way.
make that big loop.
They just manji like crazy and then go around there and
From what
manji.
I understand, it's even if you run off the road, only worst thing that can happen is you just get stuck and then get.
It's a mud pit sometimes.
Right.
Depends on
Yeah.
what time of
Right.
year.
After rain.
Those
yeah.
roads are really bad. I mean, I don't remember how bad that one was, but
It's probably like County Line was.
yeah, it probably
Yeah,
does.
I
Just
can't
down
see
is
it
pretty
being
bad.
any worse than that.
So if we buy a lot there, put a little building.
That's what he's saying.
Because these pieces of lot are still for sale,
$10,000. So you could buy a lot, and we could build a garage.
and then we
There,
can start
and we can-
paving a road, and we can
put
make them out
tires
Surrey.
in- Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't have the money.
The more you know.
We can put a tire
Wait.
changer out there and everything.
Are you gonna like invite like
Yeah,
a bunch
let's
of people
invite
like
everybody.
that time you built that garage?
Oh, yeah. We'll all just come together, have a big barbecue, and we'll build
Just
something.
Feed everybody.
Well, it was cool, and unfortunately I don't remember the guy's name, but actually they got together, and there was a lot of potholes, and a guy with his own money, and this goes back to which is really cool when you see the community come together. They went out there, and he got all the stuff, the shovels, and they spent a whole weekend or day out there, and they filled in all the potholes.
Who told you this?
I was on. It was on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they went
That's
out there.
awesome.
They spent a whole day out there filling potholes and everything. That
See,
was
that's what I'm saying. If we could get enough people, I bet you we could make a little track out there.
Oh yeah,
there already is a track out. I mean, basically, is
No, I mean we could just widen. You remember how like with County Line we just widen a couple turns out
yeah. You
just
get
to give us enough to where we can make it into a turn.
yeah, so that way you can extend it and actually transition to the
Yeah.
next one. Yeah.
Well, that's.
You remember when we
need
widened the
bulldozers.
second turn trap, and then where we did the Manji, we widened. We just put like a little crescent,
Yeah,
and it made it a lot better.
it did make a lot better.
You're talking about the slithering straight.
The slithering straight.
And the KP, what was the KP zone?
Yeah,
the KP zone.
where
KP
we
zone.
put all the barrels.
Yeah, those barrels that he always hit.
So, anyways, to go back to what we were saying, I don't think this community is a competitive community. I think it's more of a
Keep drifting fun.
But we'll see where it goes.
Well,
So
that's
do you think Jackson is wasting his time?
No.
No. I don't think he's wasting his time. I just
Well,
think
I
that-
think it's going to have a little bit of backlash.
there might be a little bit, but I think if we look at it in a positive light, people might be like, you know what, maybe it's time for me to step it up. You know.
Well, how much are you going to charge for a competition event? God, it's already the event's already $200.
Well, all right, the event's
That's
150
Like
to
we never
200
even
bucks.
charged $200 for an event.
It was like $50.
Okay, but
Maybe
I mean, we're talking
I
about-
think we did $75. $50 went to the track owner, and then the $25 went to a pot that would go towards.
Okay,
Silver
but
Line.
we're talking about an event that's at a really nice track.
That's
I
true.
mean, number
I mean,
one,
it's
the
a
road
legitimate
course
track.
is. I mean, you can get some serious speed at the road course. So you're gonna have to have some balls, or you're gonna build some balls. And then on top of that, you have the.
Noel has built his balls.
He's-
Like a lightsaber. He's got
Ball
custom
building
colored
experience.
balls.
and then you have the go-kart track, and then because you have two tracks running at the same time with 3 run groups, you have a ton of seat time.
Chris does
So
a good-
there's a reason why you pay that kind of money.
No, you get the seat time. You're like you said, you're at a great facility. It's a legitimate track. County Line was just a makeshift track that we just made work because that's what we had, and it worked great, and that's why it was cheap. But how much is OSW events? I don't think they're $150.
No, they're. I
insane.
think it's 50 or I heard it might be 25 for the skid pad and like 50 for like the whole thing, but
Doesn't
I
say
could be
on there.
wrong.
I just want to take a moment to highlight some of the comments that have been
We
coming
got
through.
comments?
Yes, comments.
Oh, really?
Okay, what are the comments say?
Moldy Tofu says, make events cheaper and you'll see at least 30% more talent attend.
No,
Oh.
there's too many guys driving now, so that doesn't make any sense.
Well, no, see, I don't know. See, I disagree. I like to see a packed event. I like to see more drivers.
Is there anybody really not coming because it's cost too much? No.
I mean, that might have been the case about 2 or 3 years ago when people were complaining about, event pricing and everything. But I mean, if you go
Everybody that shows up there has a truck and a trailer. There's no way.
yeah, but I mean,
Not
but
everybody.
that's what I'm saying. It over time it's changed because I remember 2 years ago going to PBIR, there wasn't that many drivers out there. Like it was probably 40, 50
Look,
drivers tops, and now we're getting 70, 80 drivers.
The parking lot is packed. Like that parking lot could not take any more trucks.
No, that's it. We're maxed
Well,
out
they
at the
they,
track.
are,
That
they,
was
they go.
nice.
They people park in the grass like by the restrooms and stuff.
It's
that
becoming
was-
a fire hazard.
I think that was too much. I think that was too many people there.
But everybody got a good amount of seat time. So if you can have a lot of people and still get the seat time, hey, why not?
Why not? I mean,
But I agree. I agree with you. I don't think $30 is really going to make or break people. I think if people are planning to go, they're going to pay the extra $30, especially if you pay in advance. It's $150 if you pay.
Like
early.
Noel said, it's you're paying for the real nice track. I mean, you're not. There's not County Line. It's a whole different
Yeah.
type of track.
I mean, if we're back in at County Line or Hialeah Speedway, yeah, I totally understand why we would have to charge less.
But you also understand is there are a lot of people out there that are low budget drifters that are drifting on used tires that maybe $30.
I don't think anybody's doing that.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that. That's how.
No, there's nothing wrong with that.
But what I'm saying is there are a lot of people out there that $30, $40. That could be 4 tires for them because they buy $10 used tires. So I get
used tires.
Maybe people drift on used tires all the time still.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Ooh. I don't know them personally, but I know everybody out there doesn't buy brand new tires.
Yeah, I mean, okay, when we're going out to PBIR or something like that, it's worth buying brand new tires because, I mean, especially when you go out onto the road course at those high speeds, you know.
Yeah, but what I'm saying
sliding
is
the skid pad, and I had a stock. I mean, my E30 was completely stock.
It all depends on your.
And I bought new tires.
I'm just saying there are people out there that do it. If they do it, and that's where they can afford. That's what they can afford.
Yeah, I bought
So
brand new tires.
what I'm saying is that I can understand that comment, like Ben was saying.
Mm-hmm.
I get it.
For some people, that is every dollar counts.
Yeah.
But for the most part, once those people that are at that budget, they're going to get to the point where their skill level, as you progress and as you get better, it gets to the point where, like you said, running on used tires is a waste of time because you're going to get 2 or 3 runs. You're going to get 2 or 3 runs. You're going to have to bring so many tires just to be able to drive a full event. Where that's why I
spend
stopped.
more time changing tires than
When I
driving
first
the car.
started, I was running used tires.
Yeah, I remember we were doing it, and it was terrible.
Because I figured 3 used tires equaled 1 new tire. And what the difference is that
they chuck and they throw off all the.
Well, not only that is I had to bring less to the track, and I could work on consistency because I was always sliding on the same tire and the same width, and it was always brand new. So I was able to build on my consistency. But like I said, some people just that's where their budget is. That's where their budget is.
Let me ask you this: what would you prefer, a high grip performance tire that's used, or a new tire but you have to run 205s?
See, that's the only thing I never tried is like these guys are driving on these
Takeaways?
They're driving on these scrubs for
scrubs.
like high performance scrubs.
Yeah.
Like what does that feel like? I don't know.
Well, I mean, I've seen. Well, we were talking about this earlier. I mean, out in Texas, these guys obviously they have a little bit more money, so like they have like their Pro-Am cars.
Well, I was watching one guy in Texas Lone Star, and he said he drives on everybody's scrubs. He doesn't pay anything for tires.
Yeah, he's
He
smart.
drives-
It's because he probably knows somebody and
Yeah.
he gets their scrubs.
But that's crazy.
Oh, he's pretty smart, I would say. But even then, like, they're saying that they're getting like 50, 60 laps.
Exactly. Out of a scrub tire.
Out of a scrub tire, a used tire.
50 or 60 laps.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you got to remember these tires that they're running, they're like really high performance, soft tire. You would think they would run out very quickly, but they just bump up high PSI, and then
I find that hard to believe. I had in
What
this
they
thing.
say?
And
What
the
these guys
other
are
trick
saying?
is
Maybe like on
And
the
like
maybe in like the go-kart track, 50 or 60
No,
laps.
these guys do big tracks.
no, they do big tracks, and even in parking lots, they're hitting
Parking lots, whatever. But I'm
even
saying,
third gear and
there's
parking
no
lots.
way. You can't get. There's the tire's only so thick. Even every talk to you go to PBIR, and if when I went through those tires, I wasn't even killing it. Like I was spinning out like every other turn,
Well,
and I went through this.
There's-
But even
You
look at the other one.
delaminated.
But there are
that
two
one
tricks.
delaminated, but the other one didn't. The other one didn't. The other one. Now my camber's not that great because I got a coilovers in the rear,
But there's two tricks to this. Number one, they're using 265, so they have a wider tire, so the heat is
it's 245. I mean, it's not much wider.
Okay, but then also they're using cars that are much lighter.
But
About
this car
20
weighs 2,900 pounds.
2,900.
Yeah,
You sure?
it's fully
Yeah, his
gutted.
is gutted.
They kind of fully
Oh,
gutted
They
it.
gotta cut everything
All
out.
the
Well,
stuff is.
I know that they're about 2,500 pounds out there.
No.
Yeah,
No,
and
no,
so
No
Yeah.
way.
No,
No,
that's
you're
wrong.
on. You're
wrong.
on
'Cause I
boulders.
watched the whole video where they weigh all the cars.
You watched the video.
where do they weigh it in? I
They
didn't
had
see
a
that.
bunch. They
You
had
can
a
still
video-
cut more weight. You don't need that antenna right there.
Yeah, that antenna's got like.
Actually, the
50
car is
pounds on it.
heavier than when I got it because when I got it, it had a blown out muffler and had a couple. I added some stuff to it. But
Yeah, you added
that-
yourself and.
Yeah, that's lazy.
I don't know. I'm just going by what I saw in that one.
No, they
video.
have a video where all the Texas guys they weigh
It
their
can't
cars.
be 50 or 60. It can't be-
2,700
There's no way you
pounds,
get 50. Did you say
2,800
50 or 60?
What's that? Yeah,
Laps?
they're saying
This is not possible.
No,
You
that
can't
wasn't
get 50 laps out of a tire. That's not happening.
He didn't say 50
I mean,
laps.
he said 50 or
No,
60.
they didn't say. He didn't say that.
What
Now
did- what
he's
did you
saying
say at
that. I don't
first?
know why he said
no, that isn't that what they said?
No, they said like.
No, but
20,
I'm just
30.
saying.
They said some crazy number. I wasn't
even if they said it, it's not possible. 50 or 60 laps.
No, they
Hang on,
Let's
hang
see.
on,
Hang on.
hang on.
50
We have a valued commenter,
Okay.
Okay.
and he writes, "You can get 50 laps on a tire."
Oh, there you go.
Do you like to know who this valued commenter is?
Sure.
E30 Gangsta.
Oh, well,
What's
okay.
up?
50 laps on a tire.
Yeah.
50 laps at what track?
It doesn't matter.
It
E30
has to
Gangsta
matter.
says it.
Oh,
Woo woo.
no, but I'm just saying, like,
Look, I'm going
50 laps on the road course. Drifting the whole road course, 50 laps.
Oh, maybe not. No,
possible.
not the
50
road.
laps on a go-kart track. Okay, mate.
Can they
Still,
see
I don't.
I think on the go-kart track.
Look,
you
he
Can you
got-
see that tire?
Yeah, I'm sure they got
Look,
50
no,
laps
look.
on the tire
Without spraying the
on,
tires.
on third gear.
Okay.
No.
Can they see that tire up there?
No, they can't.
Okay,
No.
let's show them the tire.
How are you going to show him the tire?
Okay. While
He's gonna take it down.
he's pulling that down, I will give you this. The
Don't
road
drop it on
course.
the car. No, he's going to move the camera. He's going to move your camera.
What? Oh, God. You gotta
No.
ruin
Watch
the
the cable.
framing.
Watch the cable.
Yeah, there's a cable.
Can you
That
see it?
tire
Can you
right
see it? I want to see
God,
it.
this is now a blog.
A blog.
Hang on, we got to move it back.
Yeah,
Ben?
that's fine.
Okay,
that's fine.
Good.
Yeah, that's fine.
But anyway,
There's
I
no
will
way.
give you this on a road
many
course.
laps did you get
Absolutely
on
not.
that
It's
tire?
not going to be 50 or 60 laps on a
On
road
that?
course.
How many laps did you go on the road course with that tire?
6. Maybe,
laps.
maybe
And-
5 or 6. Now remember, like I said,
Oh, microphone.
I spun a handful of times, so it wasn't even like.
So you got 6 laps,
So that wasn't even 6 full laps. So
and
it
you
was
weren't full on the throttle, and this thing has probably got what?
What's the tire
like
size?
320.
What's the
He's
tire
on
size?
245.
245.
But here's the other thing
245,
that the
40,
guys in
18.
Texas didn't specify is that they're not going 50 or 60 laps all at once. They're in between runs. They stop.
I don't know. 50,
So
60
it-
laps is a lot of laps.
So tires cool down and
50 laps.
in my E30, I never got 50 to 60 laps at the skid.
I just want to know, what event have you ever gone to and you drove 50 laps in one day?
I haven't done 50 laps.
Well, that's never happened. You forget you're talking about
yeah,
Noel
no,
here,
50 laps. That's a lot
who
of
still
freaking-
has yet to have a drift car.
yeah. Anyway, but I'm just saying, like, this is what they're saying, and they're claiming these numbers. So
50 laps.
They didn't claim 50 laps. They claimed 30 laps.
Even 30 laps in
Do
one
we have
event.
another
Hang
comment?
on, we have another valued commenter
Oh, okay.
of legendary
Oh,
status.
God.
Oh,
boy.
Who writes, if you run minivan tires on wet track, you might get 30 laps.
there you go. That I will agree. That I 100% agree with. On a rainy
that?
day, what's the value?
The legend, Mr. Juan Henao,
Oh,
Drifter
yes,
Extraordinaire,
yes.
0
I
to 40.
totally
I mean,
agree.
hello, legendary
Oh,
status.
congratulations to Juan. He's engaged.
Oh,
She
yeah.
said
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
That's
Hey.
right. Congratulations.
There we go.
There was a lot of Salvio from Drift HQ also is engaged. He proposed.
Oh,
so there's a lot of
all right.
weddings.
Okay,
A
all
lot of
right.
weddings that are coming up soon. That's pretty
They're
cool.
going to get married?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the plan. He asked.
Is
They
it?
said yes, and then they get a ring, and then usually they get married.
Really?
Typically.
Wow.
Is that what happened to you?
I had to sell my drift car to get married, so just.
Oh. Oh.
So you
Well,
may want to
no, but I-
That's what prompted the fire sale.
yeah, fire sale was my wedding.
The fire sale for your wedding. That's right. Oh wow.
So now I have a Volvo, so that's what you have to look forward to.
Oh man. But no, that I could agree with. On a wet day, rainy day, yes.
I'll find a video again and I'll send you the link.
I don't care.
Yeah, I have
They
the
could
video.
say it, but I have to see it. They have to fly me out there, give me a car, and give me some tires and let me test it.
I just don't
Then I'll
understand.
believe it.
You get 6 laps on this car with those tires, and it's completely annihilated.
Yeah, on a track that's a mile and a half long. Yeah.
Well, but it doesn't matter. 50
Their
laps-
tracks are probably
They're
not
actually
very
the
long.
same.
Well, that's my point. Then you go
You
back
watch
to
that
like,
video that-
are we talking at the go-kart track?
No,
Where
you
you're
watch the
saying-
videos that the tracks they slide, and they're high speed, variable
Elevation.
freaking elevations, and they're going fast as hell.
This
I'm not
just-
saying that it is possible. I'm just saying that's what they're saying. That's it.
Okay, this prompted me a good idea, perhaps, for a new kind of competition where
Who
you
can-
don't change your tire at all. You just
No,
run.
I get where he's going. who could get the most runs out of their tires, and they
Oh,
have to
wow.
be drifting.
I have to buy
And you
another
have to be
8.6.
drifting.
And they have to be drifting.
That's a cool one. There you
Yeah,
go.
it's a survival.
Last man standing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Corolla wins.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get another 8.6. Weighs
8.6
nothing,
wins.
can barely spin the tires.
You couldn't do that on a road course, though.
Why not? That'd be the perfect place to do it.
How would you would need something where it's easy to count the laps so people
And to make sure that they're fully drifting.
fully drifting, right?
Yeah,
you
you can't really
can't
see
follow
the
the
whole
whole real road course.
Well,
So
maybe
you
you
did-
set up cones around the road course. You set up the cones where they need to be drifting,
Right.
and those start
Did you
at the
go
end
through a set
point.
of tires at the skid pad? I mean, not skid pad, but
The go-kart track?
track.
I know. I'm still on those tires right there.
Those are them.
Those are the same tires that I was on, and they're probably like
You probably got
40% left, 30.
You probably got 20 laps, easy.
No,
Yeah,
maybe
yeah, you
yeah,
probably
probably
got
20
20
laps in there. Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe that 50 laps is a bit. You
On
look like you had
okay,
another 20
like I
laps.
said, go back to my point. What track? What track? Are you
That's
talking
just
about?
crazy that you can get 20 laps on the go-kart track, and then
I
you
wouldn't
can't
say.
only,
I wouldn't say I got 20 laps. I
you
probably
got 20 laps. No, you easily. Because you did like I know I filmed at least 17 laps.
right. So on the go kart track, but not on the road course. There's no way.
No,
But still, we're still not 50.
That's
more than twice.
I think what you did with those tires, you overheated them.
No, I did because you're
I think
going
you
through
overheated them and
one,
then they chucked off.
and that's the right. It's a right hand sweeper. You get the right hand sweeper in the front of the facility. Then you go through. You have a quick left, quick right, and then the back one is a left, and then you have another big long left hand sweeper. So you have two big left hand or right hand sweepers, and that really just eats
So
them up.
we never answered his question. What tire would we rather be on?
I'd rather be on the new tires than the scrubs. Just because for me practicing, I want to be on the same tire all the time.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was the
Okay.
question.
Yeah.
You don't remember?
No, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was, would you rather have a good high performance race tire, I guess, quote unquote, but it's used, or would you rather have a new tire
I don't know. I guess we'd have
running 205s? You're limited to 205s.
Okay, but hang
None
on.
of us have done that. Though.
What car though? You see, it depends on the car.
Yeah, because if you're like in a stock
It's like my 830.
BRZ or FRS, then
Yeah,
the 205 all day long.
Yeah, the 205.
You wouldn't want the takeaways.
But if I'm in a,
Let's meet somewhere in the middle. Let's go with about a 500 horsepower 2JZ running on
in the middle, the middle.
right in the middle, right in the middle.
Oh,
Or, okay, fine. Right in the middle, an 800 horsepower because they're capable of 1600 as Forza approved.
so that's in the middle. Well,
Yeah.
then I would take
So-
away the high performance takeaways, the
yeah,
scrubs,
absolutely.
No, why would you take those?
because 205 in that car is
800
worthless.
horsepower. You're gonna 205s. Those are the option. 205.
Yeah, 205.
Yeah, 205s.
I'd rather take the takeaways
Yeah.
because I mean,
The 205.
a 205. I'm not.
pointless.
I'm just gonna be sitting. I'm gonna be parking the car everywhere. It's so slow.
Okay, here's another idea for a competition. Let's say you have to run the same tire width and the same kind of tire on every car.
Okay.
Do you like that idea or do you hate that idea?
I don't think it's
You know who does that?
Lone Star.
They do that. They do a Kenda, and they all do the same size Kendas.
Well, hang
Yeah, but
on.
that takes cooperation from everybody to
Wait
do
a minute,
that.
wait a minute, wait a
but
minute,
you
wait a
know,
minute.
It's not even a rule.
Hang on.
They
It's
just do it.
just a gentleman's rule.
Hang on.
See now that is awesome. That is awesome.
That's
I
great
don't
and
see
all,
that happening
but
down here.
but no, it's their max to a 265 Kenda KR20. That they can't go past that.
Yeah, but they're all running that.
But it's still a gentleman's rule.
No,
Like,
in the
because
competition, they're all-
they have Miatas and Corollas there, and they're not gonna run at 265.
that 2J Miata is running that.
Well, they can't because
Bill used to run.
it's
well,
a street legal series.
That's
Their
why-
street legal series, they say that you can run up to a 265 Kenda KR20, but you have to have the factory engine in the car. Unless you drive an 8.6, you could do a 2-liter swap for a Beams or a F20C.
Yeah, but what's his name just drove it? Taylor Ray just drove that series.
Okay, but he drove the Pro-Am series.
Okay, so that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay. Well, they have two different series, so you got to
Said they did it
specify.
with the program.
Anyways, that's pretty cool.
No, it's really cool. Phil and Shredding said that.
Yeah.
Phil and Shredding, yeah.
Yeah, Philly Schroeder's cool. He was one of my favorite drivers on the Hyperdrive. But
Yeah.
the French guy was my
I find
number
it
one
interesting how tires can cause such a debacle.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But see, in drifting, it's all about the tire.
No,
the
it's
pressure.
Not. It's
in
the car. It's the engine.
It's the car, but the tire is what touches the road. I mean that can make or break.
I always say that.
You get a crappy tire and it blows apart on you, and you get a really good tire. That could make or break a competition.
My car would never slide until I almost wore down the 205s. Like fresh 205s, I couldn't do anything.
I'm lazy. I get the track. I get the car on. I don't check tire pressure. I just go. But that's my mistake. I should take more time and check tire pressures.
Does tire pressures really affect much?
Yes.
Yes, it does.
Absolutely.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Because I don't think I ever messed with tire pressure real much.
You know who sold me on it? And this was a while ago. It was Ryan Kaufman. When I was talking, when he was competing on the Pro-Am circuit, where I was talking about that time, and I was talking about how it was going and what the difference was from just doing the county line and the fun drifting stuff. And he just was telling me how everything, he had to change the way he drove because he was like, just like me and Harry. I remember Harry would go, "You want to warm up your tires?" He's like, "I don't need to warm up my tires," and he would just go drift. But that's how we were. We would just go and drive.
Was Harry?
Harry said that.
Yeah.
He said, "I don't need to warm up my tires."
Need to warm up my tires. So then Ryan said
They're perfect.
He said that he would be checking his tire pressures between every lap, and he said those little things that we were used to not even caring about or worrying about made a big difference in competing. When you get to that competitive level, even at a Pro-Am, especially now, Pro-Am. What Pro-Am is now,
those guys are crazy.
Is what Nopi Drift was. They're even beyond that.
No, they're past that.
Beyond that. They're past that. The Pro-Am is way beyond whatever was.
When Nopi Drift was around, like Formula Drift guys, that's what Pro-Am is now.
Yeah. But now, I mean, tire pressure definitely makes a difference. I mean, the higher the tire pressure, the smaller the contact patch as well. I mean, the middle of the tire is actually coming out a little bit farther.
I've never experimented with it because, like I said, with 205s on the E30, it would be way too grippy. So I'd have to wear them in.
That's like I said, that's at the grassroots level, probably not a big deal, but at the competitive level, it's important.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for grip, maybe. I don't see. Can you really pump up a tire that much to lose grip?
Yeah.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really hard. Yeah, it makes a big difference.
Yeah. I mean, you're stiffening the tire, and again,
who was telling me that there was an event and it was so hot that they're actually running 50 psi.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Because they usually run low 20 or 15 psi or whatever, but they were saying it was the ground was so sticky. I don't remember who was telling me.
I think that was for was it the Texas FD event? I heard something that the tire pressures were going way high for that event.
Because it was so hot and so sticky that they were actually running super high tire pressures.
Yeah, so that way it could last a little bit longer.
So what is that? So it does make a big difference.
Yeah.
So.
I got another idea.
Uh-oh.
How about for every run you raise it up by 10 psi?
So you
and
have
then see
until it blows.
Until it blows.
There's that's funny because as you're wearing the tire out, losing more grip, and then putting more pressure to lose even more grip on top of that. So I mean, it's like the car gets more slidey.
I like the idea of trying to see who can save the most tire but stay drifting.
But there has
break. Like it doesn't matter if you're shallow, but you have to be drifting through all the turns and see who will last the longest.
But there has to be rules though.
You'd have to. I mean, you could come up with rules. You could just say, it could be like a side competition, and you could just mark the tires and say, okay, whoever's running line will count how many runs to get, and when they come back with the.
Yeah, but I think there has to be a minimum weight rule and whatnot because I mean you get a Miata or a Corolla and it's gonna beat everybody.
Where's there a Miata or a Corolla?
There's
that one, but he always straightens out. If you go back and watch the live stream, every time he straightens.
No,
the problem is he's not running a 4AG. That's the problem.
4AG.
What Corolla? The white.
I'm just saying.
There's no Corolla.
There is. There was one 2 events ago.
He wasn't there now.
No, he wasn't there last
year.
Yeah,
no, but he runs the
that Corolla is not the Corolla he's talking about. That Corolla roast tires.
Yeah, but that car runs the Street Legal Series in Texas, the Lone Star. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The one that was at the 2 events ago.
Yeah, the blue one with the 3S. Yeah.
I was talking about the Miata that's there.
Well, no, he's still learning. I mean,
I'm not complaining about it. I'm just saying that he doesn't have enough power to stay in drift.
No, but I mean, with
that go-kart track is so slow.
Yeah, it is.
You have to have. It's all about having power. There's no inertia in that.
No. There's no inertia. You're killing.
You don't need much. You don't need power.
What are we talking about again?
I don't know.
We're just rambling off again.
No, we're talking about doing that where you have
The tire wear competition.
tire wear competition.
Yeah.
You have to continue to drift but
All right, let's steer this to another
move on.
direction.
Actually, I got another idea.
okay. Oh my God, these ideas.
These ideas.
On top of the tires, fuel.
See, I don't think that's as big a deal as you.
I think they would eat the tire away, right?
No, we're not talking about putting fuel on the tire. He's talking about measuring fuel consumption.
Oh,
Yeah, Imbicus battles.
God.
I mean, come on. Hello.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Measuring
I
fuel?
only went through. I'm on E85 and I only went through a quarter tank.
Have you seen? Hang on. Have you seen those guys out in the UK? They'll fill up a tire with water and go drifting with it.
What?
Or they'll fill a tire up with concrete and go drifting with it.
Yeah, I'm not about that life.
I thought it was kind of funny. Why don't we do it?
I think they're onto
I
something.
just saw.
Is he into something? Crack. They're on the crack.
I saw James Dean and his teammate
Peter.
weld two E46s
I
together.
saw that. That was awesome.
They just welded two E46s together and took the wheels off of the inside where they welded them together.
Wait, back to back, side to side,
They're
Side
side
to side.
to side. So perfect tandems every time.
and they took the middle wheels out, and they
Just
just
the middle wheels out.
and just. That is interesting. They actually got it down the track.
I don't know. I wasn't able to. I was watching it coming here.
I saw it on Instagram, so it was real short. But yeah, you can see them doing donuts next to each other. It was kind of funny.
Do you guys know about this new track in Pensacola?
What?
I heard about
Pensacola?
something. Yeah, there's a new
Pensacola.
track.
Paul?
Yeah, I heard about it. I didn't.
That's it?
I didn't get into it. No.
Oh.
I heard they're
Do
building.
you know
a track.
more about it?
No, I don't. I've just been informed about it.
We do know about the new track that's going on Opelika.
Okay.
That's
You ever seen that in the airport?
No, I haven't.
You can pull it up on Google right now. You can look at it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go to
I'll do
Opelika
that.
Airport.
Yeah, you'll see the what's it called? Who's
It's the Concours Club. They own the track. They built it themselves. I think it was 30 guys.
The executive airport?
Yes,
Yes.
it's where the
Yes. Not the international airport. the
right. It's right there
executive
off of what was it?
The track is
Gradney
done.
and
I mean, the
okay,
track
so it's on the
layout.
east side.
East side.
Okay, hold on. Let me
East
bring it up.
Bottom corner. Southeast corner. Of the.
It looks like a nice track. Definitely could drift there.
I can't believe they got,
Let's enhance.
they got the city to approve it too.
Yeah, but you know what? Opelika
Right there
Highway
to your right.
to your right. It looks like a
going.
big patch.
It's right there.
Keep
See
going. See it?
Keep going.
Oh, right here?
No, to your right,
It's
to
a
your right.
Big, huge track.
Yeah,
Go
keep
right,
going to the
go
right.
Go right more.
This way?
No, that's
left.
left.
No, yeah.
Okay.
Keep going.
Right
Right there.
There
Boom.
you go.
Right there. That's a track.
Oh, okay.
See
You
it?
see it?
Yeah, I see it.
It's not finished. I mean, the
the
pavement's done.
The pavement's done. They just haven't finished everything there.
Yeah,
it's
but
a full-
it's
full
bigger.
road
If you
course.
go over to the right, see, it goes
It's a
around,
full road course.
and even further to the right. See, there's a back
It
section
goes
there.
around there.
Who is this track got to cater to?
Porsche,
club
Porsche,
owners.
Porsche.
Yeah, rich
It's
people.
not Porsche owners only. It's,
Oh.
it's club owners.
Oh,
So it's a
The
club.
elites.
It's a ritzy club.
The elites.
cool guys.
Yeah.
and training. They're gonna have some kind of simulators. They're gonna have racing simulators.
But wasn't
on
there
the
a
track.
law saying that forbids any sort of vehicles being near like an airport, an airplane, or something like that?
Well, hey, money talks.
Yeah, money does talk.
Yeah,
That's true.
You get a bunch of people that high dollar clients, and they want to drive their cars somewhere, and they want to drive them fast.
That's what he said. He didn't want to.
So basically, they want to fly in, parachute down into their
Exactly.
vehicle, into their
Yeah.
convertible Porsche, and then drive the
exactly-
track.
They'll have somebody.
They actually, if you look up their Concours Club, you can watch. Let's watch the video. It's amazing. It's like a movie. Look up Concours.
I don't know if I have the bandwidth for that.
Oh come on.
Yeah,
How long is it?
we'll save it for next
Okay,
time.
we'll save it. We'll
Well,
download it.
what's the name? What's the name of the website so we can give it to the people that are watching.
It's here. Hold on. Let me see. I have the article. I had the article pulled up here.
So, if anybody out there knows somebody with a lot of money that has
Ben, if you
influence in
wanna
there, that'd be great.
Post that article up into the one I texted you both. The Forbes article
Yeah, I gotta
into
have
the
to look it
chat.
up.
Forbes. That just tells you alone. It's in Forbes magazine. So yeah.
If you look up, if you go into the Forbes article, you can see the track layout and everything that they, and then you can get the website as well.
Huh.
They said the video. I haven't seen the
So
video. I'll
just
watch it later.
post it up in there, and then the guys can watch it if they want.
So
they can look at it.
that is in our own backyard. It's
Yeah.
right next
It's
to
a
the
beautiful-
Opelika Hialeah Flea Market.
It's going to be a beautiful, high-end race course
okay, I
that
got
we're
it
never going to be able to drive on.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Oh, there it is right there. So, yeah.
Wow.
So go down and you can see the layout.
So can everybody see this?
Yeah, they
at
can
home
see
right now?
this.
Okay, good.
There's the layout right there.
That's what's going to look like.
Ooh,
Look at all. Let's see those. There's gonna be like all like I guess
Yeah, that whole section.
to the
like-
right is gonna be like you
stands.
live there. You can stay there, and then you could be at the track, kind of like what Sebring has.
Yeah.
Something
Okay.
similar to that.
Interesting.
Yeah. Supposedly an ex-owner of Moroso.
Oh. Okay.
Are they planning on building like a Porsche dealership there too? Maybe? No?
Who knows?
No, that's another idea.
I know
guess.
there's doing something with VR inside the resort area. It's crazy.
I imagine these are all renders or maybe just
Yeah,
photos
renders.
from different tracks.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, because the track's not open yet. So
Huh.
very cool. Very out of reach.
Yeah.
But hey,
But as I'm
But you
surprised, like
But you never know though, because Atlanta Motorsports Park in Atlanta, obviously, they were actually pretty, they're like club only,
Yeah.
whatever. And now once a year they
do the grid life thing.
like they'll invite drivers that are like that
that's a
grid
good
life
point.
level.
That's a good point. Road Atlanta does the grid life. So that is
So there-
Oh,
a
actually,
valid point.
a little off topic. Grid life is not going back to Road Atlanta this year.
Why not? So you're just gonna tell us it's not happening? You're not telling us why?
No,
Wah,
I
wah.
just that's all I know.
Where are they going?
Not anywhere near.
Whatever happened to that there was a Black Forest Hills track that they built in Georgia that was supposed to be like almost all for
Oh
drifting.
yeah, it was a go-kart track, and then just nobody would go, and it just kind of like died out.
What a shame.
Yeah,
Yeah, they were
How
like
is
Black
pumping it out
Hills,
for
Black Hills Circuit. Yeah.
Hills.
How is the drift? Because you were up there. Were you going to events when you were
No,
up
I
there?
really wasn't, but I
He
know.
really wouldn't go out much.
Yeah. Everything was
cold.
pretty far.
Didn't have any good friends.
Yeah, and my friends over there really didn't care for
Didn't
it.
like you.
Yeah, no, they didn't like me. They didn't like me or my hobbies or anything like that. So
Yeah,
I was
I'll
just
fix
kind
that.
of alone.
No, that's fine. It's fine.
No, but I do know that they do have the Lanier Raceway or whatever the across the street from Road Atlanta.
Isn't Mo with Grand Drift? He's doing linear, isn't he?
No, he's
Well, he
doing
did.
South Georgia.
South Georgia Motorsports Park.
Yeah, Lanier is literally across the street from Road Atlanta.
Yeah.
and they have events.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They have
Yeah, but-
events there like every month or every 3 weeks or whatever. And
They have a
it's-
circle track there.
Yeah,
Does-
but it's like now a big open area, and they like construct a course through it. Like with
Does
the-
Brian still run events up there from SWD?
Oh, I don't know.
No, I think he's more like Virginia.
No,
North
he's
Carolina.
from North Carolina.
North Carolinas.
He's from
Yeah.
North Carolina.
Yeah, that's what
No.
I'm saying. Like North Carolina,
We've
Virginia.
been to their
area.
shop. It was in North Carolina.
That's right. That was North Carolina.
Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah, it was nice up there.
I mean, he
North
was a little-
Carolina. That racetrack, or was it?
that was
what was
Charlotte
it called?
County.
Charlotte County
Speedway or whatever.
Speedway. That's beautiful. I mean,
Oh,
that
yeah.
place is freaking amazing.
Yeah, we go
Yeah.
into the
Because he did the pro-am event there
Yeah.
with Bill.
Bill
Stinger?
Bill Stanger.
What wasn't that Lowe's Motor Speedway?
No, Charlotte Motorsports.
Charlotte-
It was the
Charlotte
NASCAR track.
It's a big NASCAR
Yeah,
track.
Lowe's Motor
Whatever it's
Speedway.
called. What
Yeah.
is we call it Charlotte? because
Maybe
it's
it's
Charlotte.
no, because I think Lowe's was across the street where the drag strip is. Was right
No,
around the corner.
Lowe's is the
Anyway,
the
it's
NASCAR
the big-
track.
it's
don't
the
think
big
it was called
NASCAR
Lowe's
track
back
in
then.
Charlotte.
This
There's
was
only one.
7 or 8 years ago.
There's
Yeah.
only one Charlotte NASCAR track, and it's the one that we went to.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you're talking about the NASCAR track,
This is
in
gonna drive me
Charlotte-
nuts. I gotta find out.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God.
So while
Google
he's-
it.
While he's looking up that, is there any other topics that we were?
Well, I wanted to ask you, what is something that happened in the Pro Drift Series that stood out to you this
I
year?
didn't watch this year, other than
didn't
Chelsea
watch?
win at Texas.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
it's the one
That
that-
was,
Yeah,
that was a
watched
highlight.
Chelsea win at Texas, and that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
sorry.
currently called Charlotte Motor Speedway, but at one point it was called Lowe's
Oh,
Motor
okay.
Speedway.
Wonderful.
I think
So we were right.
Yeah. Say Charlotte Motor Speedway, formerly
See,
Lowe's
why are
Motor
you
Speedway.
saying yeah?
Because I'm right.
No,
Dang it.
No, you're
you're
wrong.
wrong.
Anyway.
So event
Yeah, so you had Chelsea winning at Texas. That was a
that
good
was
point.
that was
That was
awesome.
cool. It was cool.
I didn't
It's
watch
cool to
anything
see
else
Chelsea
than that.
real like where he's at, because I know he's very honest in his opinions as far as like he'll tell you from what I've seen he would rather drive a street car and go drifting than the pro car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's cool that you just say this is I enjoy the grassroots more than I enjoy the competing, because you would think you reach this level and that's you're at the epitome. I mean, he's driving Von Gittin Jr. He's got a great race team. He's got
Of course.
all the money. The cars are unbelievable. They got a full crew. It just from what he was 3 or 4 years, 4 or 5 years ago, whenever it was, to now is crazy. And I think what is even more interesting is how he got it. When I watched his video, and he said he basically just walked in and said, "Hey, I'm your new driver," to Vaughn.
I tried to find that video.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's basically
Yeah,
just
that
said,
was
he
really-
goes,
that was
I
really
heard you
cool.
building the car. He goes, I'm your new driver. And Von Gittin was like thrown away. I mean, and he really fits right in.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think their driving style, I think they're great. It's cool. It's really cool to see.
His driving style really fits the car as well. With the way those cars move around the track, the Mustangs are a little bit different than the other cars from what I've seen, and he really knows how to get the most out of it. If you look at JTP or Von Gittin, like they're usually throwing a little bit more angle into some of the corners than most of the other drivers. And
I think you're saying on Chelsea. I was
no,
like,
and then
Chelsea,
Chelsea comes in and really like maxes out what that car can do. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's really cool to see.
So, but I mean,
one thing that stood out to me at that Texas event was the amount of angle that he was
Yeah.
It was crazy.
pulling out of that Mustang, and it just kept getting wider and wider and wider. I'm like, is there a limit to this?
and he's not losing that much speed, which is
Because
crazy.
he's going in so fast. But also, I'll kind of on that angle subject. In Australia, don't they? If you go more than 90 degrees, that you get a 0, whether you keep the angle or not. I was watching it was and maybe it was New Zealand,
Really?
NZ Drift or whatever, and they had a rule that if they went past 90 degrees, even if like they're basically, it seemed like they're trying to eliminate the backward entries.
They're trying to eliminate
competition.
WiseFab. That's what they're trying to do.
Well, no, the angle kits.
No,
Everybody had angle kits. 'Cause
everybody had
New Zealand,
angle.
I don't think they cared over there, but they're trying to eliminate or keep people
Well,
from doing the
actually-
backwards entries. So when you're tandeming with them
Actually, when you think about it, it's
for tandeming
it's
competition,
more WiseFab than anything, because you can do a backwards entry with your like modified knuckles,
Yeah,
but it's a lot harder to do a 90-degree entry without WiseFab. WiseFab really is the only one that lets you get close to 90 degrees without.
well, I mean,
Yeah.
that's LSR.
Because you have to throw yourself
And-
backwards into a turn to get the tons of angle with just a normal angle kit.
right.
Yeah,
right,
but I
right,
would say-
You can't steer yourself out of that. You just have to throw yourself in
Yeah.
the corner.
Yeah.
right.
With WiseFab kit, you can almost
Or
steer yourself
really,
out.
I mean, WiseFab really isn't the only angle kit out
Well, I'm
there.
saying with
yeah.
with a 60-degree, almost 70-degree lock kit,
Right.
you can almost steer yourself out of it.
Right. With the other ones, you're pretty much just sliding all 4 wheels,
Yeah.
waiting for the car to catch back.
Or
Yeah.
adjusting the car with
Yeah,
brake.
it's timing, using the brakes, handbrake, all that
Either
stuff.
way, yeah,
Even the
maybe
clutch.
it's a different way. Is it? I don't know.
I don't think that compares to what Noel showed me with what D1 Japan is doing, where you could literally straighten out and you still get a score.
What?
That absolutely makes no sense to me at all.
Yeah, it's
Well, isn't there a Formula Drift in Japan now?
Yeah, they
Aren't
have Formula
bigger?
Drift.
Yeah,
Aren't they
But-
bigger than D1 now?
no, well, yes,
because
they are bigger.
than
They,
D1 nationally.
well,
Not
they're
nationally,
big.
but
They're bigger because they have
internationally.
more drivers. But as far as popularity in Japan, I think still D1 is top
Because they have the
dog.
different street legal and they have all these other
Yeah.
different classes, and it's more regular events versus
So-
Formula Drift is just for the pro guys only.
Yeah. So
It
what's
sounds like if they're letting people straighten, that sounds like.
but the thing with the
But that's
thing,
not Formula Drift that's letting them do that.
No,
It's,
no.
It's
It's
D1.
is D1. D1 uses a computerized judging system.
Oh, really? Now?
Drift
Yeah.
boxes?
Yeah, they have a DOS system or whatever that means. But it's so they'll take the parameters of the track and then see where the car is traveling, how much angle and this and that, and then, but even though it's super smart and whatever, I feel like it's still wrong. You know what I mean? It's like,
no, straight now should be a 0, understeer 0, spin a
yeah,
0,
that, like
two tires off 0.
I showed him one where this RX-7 threw a ton of angle, but because he threw so much angle, the car started understeering coming back, and then he had to like almost reinitiate, and he won the battle. And while the other guy was, the other guy had to lose a little angle, whatever.
There were some sketchy calls over in Texas as well.
There's sketchy calls in FD, but those are human. Those are human.
Every year.
Yeah.
Never fails.
Every year.
Every
Those
year.
are human, and those are problematic in their own way. But, I mean, this is just like, there's barely any human element to the judging in Japan, in D1 Japan.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, and it's
When
like...
they switched to that?
It's
like
a few years ago.
Like Mike Wadette's drift shifters or whatever the hell he's got.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that thing.
Stupid.
Yeah. I wasn't a big fan of that, and I felt like some of those winning runs weren't as impressive.
But I think some of the highlights. I think this year there was a lot of. Now that we're starting to talk about a little more, so Chris Jackson is part of Jeff Jones' team. So he's his crew chief. So he's up there. So I get to hear a lot of what goes down. And Chris
a lot of
told
behind
me
the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of bad calls this year.
A ton.
Like some seriously, like what in the world is going on kind of calls. And some bad slowing down and speed up zones from certain drivers that were like so obvious when you watch it on the reruns or even going through when you watch so the lead driver is supposed to run a perfect qualifying run. So when you take that certain lead driver's qualifying run and put it with their lead run, you could see a massive difference. And it is a competitive field, and they got to do whatever they can to be competitive. But there are certain things that the judges are, from what I heard, that the judges are just not calling. And not only that is now you can't challenge. I think I don't know if this is the first year they talked about it, but you can't just challenge. You have to bring your challenge to Robbie Nishida.
Yeah,
and then he has to prove your challenge if it's even worthy.
He's like the mediator.
He's a mediator.
Yeah, he's a new mediator.
So you can't just challenge a call. You have to go to him.
They call him a driver steward now.
So you got to go to him, and if he feels you. Then if he approves it, I guess I don't know if I'm understanding.
I think he has to call the FD hotline to schedule an appointment.
You have to submit your complaint in written and notarized form, and you have to do it within the next 5 minutes.
Look, talking about notarizing, we have a notarizer here.
Oh, we do. So you
yes, we do.
Yeah, you should be right next to him. So I'll notarize that for you right now.
Give me a job, FD. Anyway, but no, I'll just call it out as it is. I mean, the biggest one that we saw this year was Chelsea Denofa versus Chris Forsberg. I mean, coming out of Interclip 1, was it? Yeah, it was coming out of that. I mean, we saw Chris Forsberg's car slow down. Even the rear wheels pretty much almost stopped, or just stopped spinning,
Mm-hmm.
I think even like, I think Chelsea went against James Dean, right? That was the last one. Texas, didn't he go?
I have to admit, I really haven't watched it.
Yeah. Chelsea versus Dean was in Texas.
It was.
That was the final.
But I love James Dean. I even almost wanted him to win. But there's no reason that they should have went one more time.
No,
it should have went to Chelsea.
Yeah,
correct.
The first time and they did it one more time. It's like just because they wanted James Dean to win, I don't know.
And that arguably highlighted perhaps James Dean's kryptonite, and that is going against somebody with extreme angle.
Well, just more. I don't know the right word for Chelsea's drive.
Because if you notice, James Dean couldn't accomplish this anywhere near the level of angle that Chelsea was accomplishing, and you just saw it, and you're like, "What's going on here?" And it just made it worse when they did one more time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you starting to feel like you're an episode of Awake?
But then,
you can tell you're tired.
But then also talking about James Dean following cars with high angle, what happened in Irwindale against Forrest Wang, where he was chasing Forrest Wang almost straight, and while Forrest Wang had full angle. Granted, Forrest Wang's line wasn't the greatest thing. It wasn't the greatest line he could have been taken, but at the same time, like, why is Dean so straight?
Yeah,
why is his
I remember
headlight pointing right at his fender?
Yeah.
You're
right.
And they still gave him the win after 2 one more time battles.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I remember coming out of that and like finishing that battle, and I was just like, I don't think Mr. Wang is gonna be sleeping comfortably tonight.
No, I wouldn't be either. I mean, granted, I guess what they were looking at was the line he was taking, but they were favoring proximity over angle so much that it almost seemed like you can just stop spinning your rear tires and just drive next to the guy if you wanted to. It was kind of ugly, an ugly way to win, and he even got booed, and we all know that most fans love James
I
Dean.
remember that, yes.
And he got booed
hard,
and people love James Dean.
Well, I don't think they were booing at James Dean
Probably
per se.
the judges.
They were, the judges.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. But so I mean,
Well, we'll
Did they
see.
go to commercials, like cut the commercials just so that way they could cut out the booze? Maybe, no?
Go
Okay.
to commercial break.
yeah.
I have to admit, I didn't really watch. I don't think I watched.
I only watched Texas. That was it.
I don't even think I
I don't
watched
even know
Texas.
why I watched Texas.
I just watched highlights.
Well, I
Oh,
watched.
that's fine.
Yeah,
I watched the whole year.
yeah, no, it's good. At least somebody's watching something.
I went to Atlanta as well, but one of the things that
Well, you live there.
I lived there.
Lived
yeah,
you did.
lived it did.
Hmm.
But anyway, one of the things that I think was really awesome this year was the level of driving that was displayed. I mean,
Each year it
gets crazier and crazier, and I mean, the first 3 events, there was 4 qualifiers with 99-point runs, and then on the 4th event, we got a 100-point run, and then on the 7th event, we got another 100-point run. So I mean, and
No, they're driving crazy.
Oh, they are-
Paul, let me ask you something. You've never judged an event before, right?
Yeah.
You have, okay. Would you feel comfortable giving somebody a 100-point run, for a qualifying run?
No. I don't think so.
Okay, moving on.
well, I mean,
What?
if
Why? What happened? What did I
Well,
miss?
they gave a couple of drivers a 100-point qualifying run.
two
So I guess the
drivers
question,
got 100
yeah.
point runs.
So the question is, would you feel comfortable, you being a judge previously, giving somebody a 100-point run on their qualifying?
There's something you can always nitpick. You know. I mean,
Yeah.
there's always.
Well, I don't
something.
know. It depends. You'd have to really.
I think
You'd have to come up with exactly what you want them to do, and then if they.
which they do.
But the problem is like how you would have to review everybody. Like, how can you give a 100-point run, and then you have another person that does it just a little bit better? You felt like this guy did exactly what you wanted him to do, but then the next guy came out and just did just a tad bit better, just a tad bit closer to everything.
Well, you give that guy 99.
No, you
But
start
he just did better.
using using the decibel system.
So
So
you just give that guy
100.1.
because you probably don't like that driver.
100.1.
So you probably give him a 70. You give him a 70. The guy that did just a little better.
That's what I do. I usually see any of the guys that don't.
So I don't really like this guy.
60s.
Car, I didn't get, you know.
Well, I think the 100-point run is just it hit all the criteria that they were asking for
Yeah, but
perfectly.
The problem
Maybe
is,
that's what it is. Maybe that's
but
why you
this-
saw 100-point runs, because they're just, hey, no, that guy did exactly what he wanted him to do, and that's what it is.
No, I'm gonna be.
Maybe everybody will get 100-point runs.
I'm gonna be honest. The first one with JTP, when I first saw it, and even now, I personally wouldn't have given that a 100-point run. There was a few times where I saw the car make a sudden movement, or the front steering made a sudden movement, and it was just
I think for
kinda
a 100-point run, you need to have a couple things on every turn: proximity to the clipping point, angle, and speed. If all 3 criteria meet, then on every turn, then you give them a 100-point run. But
No,
other
and
than
also,
that,
also, I mean,
We
the
have
fluidity and
Fluidity.
yeah,
that's a
like
new word for
yeah,
fluidity.
Well, I'm saying
The hell is that?
Smoothness,
You do
transition.
How liquid you are. How liquid.
Oh.
Well, it's just.
Is it cold out?
It's just precision.
What's the temperature
It is.
outside?
Yeah, I mean, like
No.
you know how
Guys,
smooth-
bring out your microscopes. We're gonna break apart the electrons and the atoms and everything.
I think-
so
I
that
think
way
what
we
they're
know how
talking
fluid
about
it
is their transitionings, their smoothness of transitions.
Yeah.
So, what do you prefer? Do you prefer a snappy transition?
I love snaps.
I love snappy. I love snappy, but the thing is like if you're snappy, but because you threw too much or whatever, or you made it too fast, you have to make an adjustment after that. Then you know you're gonna be docked points.
I hate slow transitions. I hate cars that look slow when they transition. I hate everything about slow transitions.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. It is boring. It is boring.
No,
Now,
it's not boring.
It looks stupid. It doesn't look good. The coolest thing about sliding is when you go to transition, you
Trying to
flex.
know all the flip flop.
yeah.
But
Well-
I mean, a slow transition can be exciting too when you've got a lot of smoke and a lot of speed going, and you get another car.
I think
right?
I think it depends on like the like how tight the next turn is going to be or whatnot. If it's going to be something that's very wide and very fast, then I guess you don't have to go with a snappy transition. It might screw your next turn up.
What if the next turn there's a lot of fluid in it?
It's really got a lot of fluidity.
Got a lot of fluidity. A lot of fluidity. Okay.
But as far as James Dean's 100-point run, I thought that was warranted. It was perfect. It was just online. Car was super smooth around.
It was very fluid and it was online.
Yeah.
Yes. Any major crashes that stood out to you this past year? Whether if it's grassroots, professional, anything.
Everything that happened
I
in
haven't
Texas.
seen any crazy
There was
crashes other than that tire wall. Yeah.
Yeah, that tire wall in Texas really took out a lot of. I mean, wow.
Didn't Asbo this year? He hit the wall pretty good.
Yeah,
right?
it was Peter
Pete-
Peter Visek went into Osborne and pushed him into that tire wall in Texas, and it shifted his rear subframe
Yeah,
and
it was
everything.
bad.
It was just it made a mess out of that car.
That's probably one of the worst ones I've seen because I think that was one of the only ones I've seen.
Yeah. Well,
When
then
did
Matt
that guy
Field
wreck
hit
that
the
Ferrari?
same
Was that a
wall.
couple
All
years
the
ago?
panels came off the
What's
car.
that?
Did that guy wreck that Ferrari a couple years ago at Long Beach, or was that this year?
No, that was last year where it caught on fire.
Okay, guy at Long Beach put a Ferrari into the wall.
Yeah, he did all right this year. I don't really like the way
No.
the Ferrari looks.
I argue
got
he
to the
started
wall.
at a fire because he needed to make some pasta for the fans. And so,
That's what I make
Yeah.
for the pasta.
Regatoni,
Forget about it.
the pesto.
Yeah, I don't really like the Ferrari in the.
No,
I
I
don't really like
I
it.
think it's kind of a weird car. I mean, well, not kind of. It's a very weird car. It's almost as wide as it is long.
But it's front engine, right?
Yeah, but the engine sits so far back behind the rear wheels that it kind of makes the balance kind of,
Wait.
or the front wheels. Sorry.
Oh.
Yeah.
But who else is running? It was Turk. Who's running?
Turk.
Turk's running a Ferrari motor, right?
I don't know.
No, but that's his personal car. No, his
car's got a Ferrari motor in it.
his competition car has a 2J in it.
He did run the Ferrari motor once.
No,
He
not
did
not
a
in,
video.
not in
He did a
competition.
mountain pass video with it, and then he crashed, didn't he?
Yeah, he crashed in it,
Oh man.
and then they fixed it on the side of the road and kept going. That was pretty cool. That was a cool video.
Yeah, it's good training. So when you work on your car, you should probably just work on your car on jack stands. So that way, when you do wreck your car at the track, you will be
we like
prepared.
you like to work.
I always preheat my motor before I change my spark plugs and change my oil.
We put dirt on the floor.
Put dirt on the floor because I
So
want
we
I
wanna
want to get
simulate
practice and simulate
What it is to be like on
to
the
be
track.
on the track.
Okay.
Actually, I have an AC in my garage. When I work on the car, I
We
wait
turn
till
in the
it's-
heat. We
till
turn
I-
the heat on.
No, I actually pull the car out of the garage
Okay.
and I wait till
Turn all the lights off.
after it's rained and the sun comes out, and then that's when I work on my car. Because I want to simulate, so that way when I'm at the track, I have the experience to work on the car.
How about
Real life environment.
how do you simulate when it rains?
I get a hose.
Yeah, we spray the hose in
I
here.
spray the hose in the air. And when it's around 12 or 1 o'clock.
We tie one arm
Yeah.
because,
Yeah, because
He's
I may,
maybe crippled.
Okay.
maybe cripple.
So
And
I imagine you-
purposely squirt oil in my eye before I start. In my good eye.
So I imagine you on your car, wet,
Oh,
and Paul is saying,
on my car wet.
and Paul is saying,
Why are
That's
you
not fluid
imagining?
enough.
Why are you
Imagine me
imagining
on my
Tim-
car or under my car, because that could mean a whole different thing.
Late.
So, it's like, but I'm just
Anyways,
kidding.
that was referencing
something.
Chelsea.
Oh, Yeah.
Yeah, he put out a video on the current the current 2020 build progress, I guess.
And there was no lifts in the shop.
And he says there's no lifts in the shop because they put the cars on jack stands because it simulates
track
environments.
How they're going to work on the cars when they get to the track.
Yeah, and
no, it doesn't.
No, it's a terrible.
We found it to be pretty funny. So
it's hilarious.
I don't think that can't be real. Maybe he was just joking.
I think he was joking.
That couldn't be real.
If he's serious about that, that's a joke.
It's got to be a joke.
It's a fun joke.
It is. It's hilarious.
It is.
Made me laugh.
That's what we thought about it. You know, it's like, hey, we throw dirt on the floor, we turn the heat on.
Yeah, turn the heat on.
We go put the car outside with no lights.
Preheat the motor before you do anything to it.
What do you guys want to see in the 2020 season?
Better judging. Well, we've had that discussion.
I would love to see an 8.6.
8.6 is non-competitive, so you'll never see it in Formula Drift.
I'll finally admit that it's not.
Is there any? Is there any cars?
Are you watching still? Probably not.
What?
Huh?
No, there's nobody watching. Is there anybody in the comments anymore?
Yeah.
Oh,
They're actually saying something?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Oh,
Do you want me to start?
No. Yeah, if he wants to.
Well, let's see this. Is there any Formula Drift Pro cars with just a straight axle?
No, not anymore.
Even Mustangs aren't straight?
No, they're all independent.
There's no cars with.
Nope, nothing that I could think of.
I don't know. That's me. I have no idea.
All cars.
I think Paul was looking for inspiration for his project to see maybe he could pick up a thing or two from their setups.
No, not in. I mean, in Pro 2, you had Trenton Beecham in JTP's old Mustang, but
those old Mustangs weren't they straight axle?
Yeah, the
Apparently.
2014 and older Mustangs are all straight axle.
Well, not all. The Cobras are
the 03. Oh well, no, the 99 through 04 Cobras all had IRS. So there's that, but I'm saying
not buying Cobras anyways, right?
No,
they're just buying.
No,
nice GTs.
No, they're it's just the modern S550 chassis, which is 2015 and newer.
So Sarah, she drives a soul axle car, right?
Yeah, she drives
your album.
Yeah, you got a little hug too.
Yeah, she did.
She did. It was kind of like a sympathy hug.
Yeah.
Did she smell?
Well, she has.
How am I supposed to answer this? I was focused on the event, guys.
Well, you were like,
you couldn't even think of anything to say.
It took you a while to get rolling on that.
Yeah, it took me a while.
That's okay.
Well, because I was kind of thrown on the spot when Ben had to adjust the camera. And so I was kind of like, I wasn't prepared for this. So
Don't try to use me as an excuse.
Oh well, I just did, so deal with it.
Oh,
he was starstruck, and Ben wasn't there.
Yeah, I was like, oh, is our first
He was more than starstruck, more than that.
Yeah, no, he was
love struck.
He had all sorts of kind of feelings.
So, anyways, but no, going back to what I was saying, she has a solid axle, right?
Yeah, she has the old.
The well has a solid axle now.
Yeah.
We're done.
Oh,
We're done.
Oh,
Y'all just killed me.
Oh man. That's funny.
I can't.
Yeah, you can't.
All right, so
let's move on. Moving on.
Anyways.
Yeah, solid
So you
axle.
said, what would we like to see in 2020?
Yeah, in 2020.
Well, I know.
Do you want to see?
Axles.
Yeah.
I know of a couple things that are cooking up.
Wait, not to cut you off, but didn't somebody? I don't know if this is rumor or if just something I was maybe just. I'm totally wrong, but didn't somebody say one of the judges quitting this year?
Yeah, NDN. Yeah. So we're gonna get a new judge. We don't know who it's gonna be.
It's Tony Angelo.
The only that's a possibility actually, because they did drop a hint where it's gonna be a previous driver.
Probably Robbie Nishida, because he's already been working with the judges.
Yes, that would be my number one pick. Tony Angelo, I can see it happening. He was a judge before, you know.
Being a judge sucks though.
It does. There's so much pressure, and
especially now. I mean. But I will tell you that at least they have the advantage of being replays and watch over multiple camera angles They could see every aspect of the run.
That's why we were trying to do at U.S. Drift Circuit, where we gave one judge each turn. Like you judge just this turn.
Oh, right.
Remember
we
tried it out?
We tried because we didn't
it out.
have the perspective. So what we did is we broke up the track, and I think maybe we could have probably tweaked it and made it work. But we basically broke up the track into 3 sections. You had one judge that was just judging the entry, and then you had another judge that was judging the middle section, the midsection, and then the other judge was judging the final end of the run. So basically, you had 3. You could get 3 votes. So lead car can win the initiation, but then lose the middle, and then gain the end. So they would have a 2 or 3 vote. I mean, in theory, it seems pretty good, but it did piss a lot of people off because
Everybody
they
was pissed off.
But that's because they weren't used to it. I think in theory it might have worked.
I think everything we did pissed them off.
If it wasn't what FD was doing, people didn't want to do it. That's really what it came down to. If we change the you don't think so?
I think people are pissed about FD too.
Well, they are, but when they would come to do the competition, they expect it to be judged like Formula Drift.
I don't want to see any electric cars.
Yeah, I don't want to see any electric cars.
But why?
I'm
What?
I have people who
Make
who
their
agree with
own.
me.
They should make their own thing. The reason why it just doesn't fit. It's just like
It's boring. It's boring.
It is.
But I would like to see how it will fit in when they do develop a good car for it. I want to see what happens. You know, just
make their own, like they did with Formula E.
But
Make
Make a
a
Formula
Drift E.
Yeah.
Drift E-Drift
E-
or something.
E-Drift, yeah.
E-Drift, something like that, where all the cars are more level and they're all the same. Because when you put that car against these other cars, it just...
Well, then they can really, all electric, you can completely limit the car.
Yeah.
yeah,
That's what they should do. Just come out, why don't they do electric series and do like completely limited, like driver focus only. So all the cars run the same tires, all the cars run the same electric, like motor profile. Because all they do is upload a motor profile to that car, and then that car can only do this one thing. And they all have the same amount of torque and everything.
See,
That would be
that's
cool.
what the future drifting really is gonna have to come, because
No, that
everything
won't-
the cars have. No,
No,
I'm
I
not
don't
saying
want that.
I'm not
No,
saying
no.
in electric
Oh
cars.
boy! Order!
I'm not talking
Order!
about electric cars. I'm talking about the even playing field like NASCAR
You're not going to
has.
have an even playing field with internal combustion engines. If you-
NASCAR does it. NASCAR does
yes.
it.
Yeah, but NASCAR is stupid.
yeah, and
But it's the most watched motorsports in the
but
world.
it is also losing viewers.
But it doesn't matter. What I'm saying is that doesn't.
Yeah, but they put
Formula One.
They put a.
They're all the same, equal.
No, each manufacturer constructs their own engine within the rules. Now,
Within the rules.
Okay.
Right? They have to have their tires have to be the same width apart, and
No, I
the
see.
aerodynamics have to be the
If you're
same.
gonna
no
put that-
aerodynamics
no,
you
look.
design yourself.
What about the horsepower?
That
Is unlimited?
bro. The Mercedes is a lot faster than the Ferrari. That's for sure.
Is that true?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they make more power. Yeah, so it's within. They give you the parameters. You build it within those parameters. But that's the beauty of drifting. It's like you're gonna take
Run
that
what
away.
you brung.
Yeah, run what you brung. It's kind of cool. I mean, don't get me wrong. Yes, there should be rules and whatnot, but I think now they've gotten to a point where like they're making so much power and the tires last only so long.
I think they should make no limit. Just let them go.
Just full out. No
Let's
limit.
now they have so much money. Let all these teams go buck wild. Let them go
yeah.
freaking nuts.
But-
let
but-
them build the fastest drift cars that they can ever beat, and don't hold them back. Let them run whatever freaking tires that they need to run, and just let
Sure.
let the money flow on it.
see where
Let's
it
see
goes.
how fast they can really go.
Right, but I
Can
mean,
can
it's-
we meet somewhere in the middle?
No,
Oh, come on!
But I
No.
think with the current iteration of the rules, the cars are maxed out as they are, like with 1,000 horsepower, because they can barely get 2 laps out of those tires.
yeah,
You know,
that's what I'm saying. Let them
Run a
run
wider-
ridiculous size tires.
well, I mean,
Let them do like some crazy stuff, and let's see how fast they can get. I mean, like, let's see 200-mile-an-hour drifts.
sure.
Let's drift homestead.
Can I make another plea to meet somewhere in the middle?
Um,
Hybrids, maybe.
Hybrids.
Hybrids.
Is that a generator on a car? Why?
I mean,
I mean, look at
That's
the
a lot of
McLaren.
weight.
That's terrible. No,
Look at
that's
the
a bad
McLaren
idea.
P1
That's a bad idea. I don't
or
know.
the Porsche 918.
Look, I mean, if we're not going to restrict what power plants they can use, then why the heck not? You run a hybrid if you want, run
Why?
electric. You know, just do whatever you please.
Why would you run a hybrid?
They should just, with the Camaro, they should just put a loud system in it and just make engine noises out of it.
No, because
And I'd be okay with it.
it's not the same.
Make 1J sounds.
Make one.
Wait, what?
Or
Make
2J
one
sound. 1J sound, like 1J sound, 2J sounds, whatever.
Yeah,
One
okay.
run it sounds like a 2J, and
Just
then the
you-
next run it sounds like
You
an
can change
LS.
it like you say, yeah, like you're changing your EQ, you know? I
You
want it to
just
sound
stick
like...
a soda can in the wheel well.
And it'll throw
Oh,
everybody off. It'll throw everybody off.
Some playing cards, the spokes.
Yeah.
Like, you
Come
know,
on,
the
because-
chase driver's like, I don't know what it's gonna sound like. This is gonna be kind of crazy. And then it's like, oh man, he's running VR sounds. Like, I don't know how to drive against that. You know, you never know.
No, but I don't like the electric.
No, I'm not a big fan of it. But I
Make
mean,
its own series. I think they should have like a truck series, drifting trucks, like slam and picked up trucks. I think that'd be great.
that'd be kind of cool.
Why
would be
stop
cool.
there? Drifting SUVs.
Right. Well, I'm saying sure, like a truck series.
Yeah,
you get some
we could do
SUVs and you get some trucks.
pickup trucks.
Yeah, pickup trucks, truck series drift. That would be awesome. The bills you'd have these slam Tacomas and slam F-150s and just crazy bills, just like the truck series NASCAR. I think it'd be cool. All trucks. That would be cool.
Yeah,
I think
I can get with that.
At the same time, I do understand.
we couldn't
like,
do it at the same time.
no. Okay, but I'm saying, like, I know you're saying make a series for electric cars. I understand that, but at the same time, it's like I do like the run what you brung thing. I don't care for electric cars at all. They bore me. But
I think electric cars could be the fastest drift cars and the most competitive. drift
Absolutely. But boring.
But
But-
let it
Boring.
let it get to that point where it's like, okay, now these internal combustion cars aren't keeping up. Then let's make a separate series for them. But until then, let them run. See what happens.
I didn't say don't let them run. I just said I don't want to see them.
I really don't care for them either, but you know.
So what's your take on it, Ben? You like the electric drift cars. Why?
Yeah, why not? It ties into the same school of thought that you have. Run what you brung. So if somebody wants to bring a high-powered electric car, drift car, why not? I mean, but I also agree with what you were saying, where in some sense, yeah, just split them off into their own series. But who knows?
Think of this:
Okay,
an electric-powered monster truck.
I like that.
Yeah, that's boring.
God,
What are you talking about? It's
Monster
still
truck.
gonna smash things.
It's
It's
just
still
be-
gonna be
all
like,
you're like,
oh, smash.
It'd just be like,
I posted a video on my Facebook the other day showing exactly why electric cars are just boring. It was a Formula E car trying to do donuts, and it was just like whatever. And then they showed a Formula One car doing donuts, and the noise and the show. It's part of the spectacle. The noise is part of it.
currently, yes.
Yeah.
Will someday they be doing that, and we'll be sitting there like, I remember when they had engines. It was exciting.
I know,
And
but
kids will be like, no, that's stupid.
Engines.
Yeah.
yeah, but I think it's becoming where cars are just seen as an appliance now more than anything. It's boring. I mean,
Appliance?
yeah. I mean, it's just there's less and less car enthusiasts nowadays. Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah, I think the car hobby is dying out. And
You kind of have to tie it into how car sales are going, and you're starting to see, like, especially with the youth, that are deviating away
You know what?
from.
That's funny because exactly, I bought the Volvo from a probably 40s, 50-year-old guy, and he has a son, and he said the kid doesn't want to have a car. He said because he took it away from his dad because he didn't want his dad driving anymore. He was going to give it to his son, but his son just doesn't want to drive cars. Doesn't want to buy a car. Has no interest in buying a car.
yeah, they can Uber everywhere.
They can Uber. That's exactly what he said. He said he
They're fine
Ubers
with
wherever
that.
he wants to
There's
go.
less people with driver's licenses now.
Yeah.
Because they really don't care to have a car, and it's kind of sad. And I feel like like they see.
It was one of a big life change for everybody, at least for all of us.
For
right?
us growing up,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you
Getting your
look at-
first car was a huge event. That was like
Yeah.
one of the first big
You look
events.
forward to
we
it.
did.
Yeah.
It's freedom, finally, cool. But then it's like also for us car people, it's like, hey, this is an extension of myself. Let me express that,
through the car, right?
through the car. But now people look at a Tesla as like, oh, it's like an iPhone. It just does all this stuff for me. Cool, whatever. I really don't care. You know what I mean? Like,
that's true. I mean, so less drivers. I mean,
and what's gonna suck? What's gonna suck more than anything?
The less drivers. I hate driving in traffic, and people can't drive. They're horrible.
Yeah. And what's gonna suck for us car enthusiasts is that we're gonna have our blood, sweat, and tears into a car, and dollar bills, put into this car, and it makes all this noise and whatever, and then some nerd comes up next to us and it's like they smoke us. And they're like laughing at us, like, look, all the money you put into that thing is, destroying the earth, and I still whooped your ass.
Well, actually,
if they smoke you from the passenger seat as they're on their phone because the damn Tesla is on autopilot.
Yeah, it's on autopilot, and you can't.
Smokes you on autopilot.
So it's like I have lots of problems with EVs as a car enthusiast. I can see it being comfortable, nice and quiet. And if it drives for you, even better. I hate driving in traffic as well. But as a car enthusiast, I'm not happy about it.
No, I love driving.
I love driving. I love actual driving, and I love the
I look for places to drive. I
like the sensation of a mechanical thing. It's almost alive. Like a car that makes sounds and
how fluid it is.
Yeah,
the fluidity.
Fluids are important. Without fluids, you can overheat.
There's a lot of fluids that come out.
You could dehydrate
when he's driving.
He's got a lot of fluidity.
Exactly.
You had some fluidity when you got here.
What?
He had to use the restroom.
Okay.
But that is interesting. I never really thought about that. That less and less people really don't.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that either.
And we're not really even like in a metropolitan area. Where we live, it's pretty rural. We're not downtown Fort Lauderdale, not downtown Miami, where you live.
Where I live is not rural.
You live in Hialeah, right?
I don't live in Hialeah. I live in
I picked up that car.
Sweetwater Doral area, which is
it's pretty packed.
I picked up that car in Royal Palm. That's where the guy lived, out in the middle of just some neighborhoods.
Yeah, that's out in the middle of nowhere.
This is just, and the guy's like, yeah, his son just doesn't want to have it.
Yeah, but Uber, that's expensive.
That's what the kids, they don't want to have the responsibility.
Well, I guess most of your life is right here.
Yeah.
So unless you're going to work or you want to hang out with somebody, everything else is right here. You don't need to go anywhere.
That's true. But I mean, now I was thinking about this. Is like, what if drifting would have came out in the 60s and 70s when cars was like the manly thing to do, like. Oh, NASCAR was NASCAR. Like all this stuff was like like car culture, especially here in America, was still booming. So I mean, like, what would have happened if drifting would have came out then? Would it be
even in the 80s? Well, it was in the 80s in Japan, but like not really in America at all.
Yeah, but the thing is with drifting is like it's now become a thing where it's like, okay, there's rules and a certain criteria and this and that. While back then, like if people were like, oh, we're just going around the corner halfway through it and straightening out, and it's drifting.
Yeah,
the legalities of it, and I will say the Fast and Furious changed that a lot. I was telling somebody the other day that I got a racing ticket.
What?
This was not recently. This was when I was younger. Like I was probably like
racing tickets.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. It's a street racing ticket. So I was probably, I want to say I was about 18, 19 years old. I was in my friend's car and this was in Pembroke Pines, going down Pines Boulevard.
Yeah.
And we were lined up against a GSR or whatever, and we were racing like 9 o'clock at night. There were some cops there. We just kept going right past them. I got pulled over. I got a ticket. The ticket was $45, no points.
Nice.
$45, no points.
Well,
that was pre-Fast and Furious.
That was pre-Fast and
Furious.
Yeah.
Fast and Furious changed that whole thing. So now,
everything.
Back then, we used to go do donuts and burnouts, and the cops would just tell us to go away. Now, you go into jail. You lose your license. So it's a lot.
So much.
Yeah, it changed.
Yeah.
No final thoughts.
Wow. What do I want to see in 2020? Since you asked that, like what?
Just one thing. Just one thing.
Oh.
In one sentence.
Daigo's coming back 2020.
What?
Okay. All right.
No way.
Yeah, he's coming back.
No way.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
He's coming back to the FD, and that's going to be interesting to see him and James Dean go at it.
Yeah. I guess.
Yeah, well, James Dean took a break and then he came back, right? So,
Tim, what would you like to see in
What
2020?
would I like to see in 2020? I'd like to see more of our podcast. I would like to see this turn into something that we do, go out to Orlando and grow and interview some cool new guests, maybe bring some different people in and get to interview more drivers. So I would just like to see this grow. Even if it just stays in my garage, whether people are watching, this is what we love to do.
Yeah.
If we're not driving, we're not working on a car, we love to talk about cars.
Yeah, this is.
And that's what I'd like to see, more of this.
Awesome. Okay, Paul.
drive.
What?
I would like to drive.
He has Volvo, so now he wants to.
Can't blame him there, you know.
I want to drive. So that's what I want to see in 2020. And
More
I would like to see a community again, because now that I'm driving, you come back and like my first event back at PBR, I'm like, ooh,
You don't know anybody.
I don't know anybody.
Yeah.
That's just
Until I saw you guys, and I was like, oh, thank God, it's a familiar face. But I'm like, otherwise, who are these people?
It's the first time anybody's been excited to see me. So
well,
It's like,
and I know the feeling because this last event was the first event
people
that actually.
knew you. I was like,
But that's
yeah,
because
they
I've
know
been
me, but
coming
they're not
not
excited to see
you.
me.
No, him.
Well, yeah,
Nobody
Not
knows.
you.
there you
They
go.
still don't know you.
Yeah, nobody knows.
What I'm
I'm
saying
unimportant.
is, this is the first time I actually got to tandem because people, and it was Gizmo, and he used to work at Jackson's shop, and what they were doing this event is if you were in advanced and you weren't tandem, they're dropping down to beginners, and I happened to line up behind him, and I forget the guy's name that was running line. He's like, yeah, it's Tim, and Gizmo's like, who? He's like, it's Tim. And he's like, who? It wasn't until later in the pit that he's like, oh, he goes, I didn't realize you were driving. Once you start doing events and once you start driving, it may feel like you're not plugged in. Like I still don't really feel plugged in because I don't know, but I know Salvio. I know some of the guys because I've been going to the events. The more you go to events, the more you start driving with other drivers. You'll start. I'm starting to feel that old County Line vibe.
Yeah,
I really am.
I guess, but I mean,
Because the
still,
drivers they're all cool.
It seems like the forums were the thing that like linked us together.
Yeah.
And then the meets.
yeah.
Well, there are still meets. So,
Does
but that's
any of the
but
guys still get together at anywhere?
do they still do Thursday? No, they don't.
I don't know. I don't think so.
No, I've
No.
been out of
The
loop
Pines,
on that
no.
one.
No, but they get together at Palm Bay.
Well, that's what we should do on the group feed. Is we should do a meet.
Okay.
It'd have to be on the weekends though, because we got responsibilities. Thursday nights are hard.
Yeah.
Do once a month meet or something on like a Saturday or something. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Saturday night.
Yeah.
So about Ben, final thought.
Final thought. I would have to again repeat what you mentioned. I think what you highlighted is something that I've been sort of pushing for, and I see a lot of potential with it, and I hope to make something more out of this.
Mhm.
It may seem a bit primitive, it may seem a bit amateur, but it's sort of like when you're getting behind the wheel of a car that you've never drifted before.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to grow, you want to learn, you want to improve yourself to hopefully go on to do bigger and greater things. What's going to happen, I don't know, but I have some idea of it, and I'm just glad that I have a great group of guys like you all, both here and on the internet, to support this endeavor. And yeah, I think I can't say anything else but for everybody to just follow along and on this journey that hopefully leads to bigger and greater things, because I think for a long time, and this is something I spoke to Tim about the other day, that Florida has been sort of given the black eye or largely ignored in the things that they've done and accomplished. For whatever reason, I don't know what it is, but I think with doing something like this, perhaps it may shine a light on some of the stuff that we're doing, and whatever happens from it, I just hope that we can gain something from it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
that'd be
just
great.
us, but everybody as a whole.
Of
Right.
course.
And that's the goal.
Yeah.
That's what I hope to accomplish.
Mhm.
But we've been at it for a significant amount of time. I want to thank you guys especially. I want to thank everybody on the internet. Appreciate this. Hope to do this more. And check out what apparently is a Facebook group that I've just been made aware of today.
SFLDrifters.
That's been helmed and commandeered by somebody who I shall not name. But
Wasn't me, I'm telling you.
yeah, I'm sure you'll find more information on the next time we go do this, and we hope to see you there, and we hope more people follow along because I think this is a good thing.
Yeah, if you see us at the events, come up to us and let us know what you think, and we love to talk to everybody that watches.
Yeah.
I think we need to make this like you have to make it a thing.
Consistent.
Yeah, we have to make it a thing.
Mm.
Now, before we sign off, real quick, I'm
You
gonna
wanna
go.
tell Sarah that.
Yeah,
Oh,
that might be another
Sarah.
day. That might be another day. But
okay.
before I sign off, I just wanted to.
You're looking at the TV.
I'm
Yeah,
looking at the
just there.
TV,
Look
but
at
there's
the
a.
camera.
You got to stand right
The
there.
camera's over there.
Is it there?
She's there. She's right there.
Oh, she's right there.
she's right
All right, awesome. I just wanted to say that this
You have to
shirt,
get down on your knee, man.
this shirt and Ben's shirt
Oh,
is
My shirt
provided
too.
by I Do Drifting.
Yep.
Right here, Tim's company. If you, this one says I'd rather be drifting,
Mm-hmm.
and
I got
Ben's
a
is a rod and a piston, which is a pretty
And
cool
an
shirt.
Angry piston.
There's many other designs. Hit up I Do Drifting on Instagram
Mhm.
and check out his stuff. He's got a bunch of merch.
Actually, I gotta put it up.
Oh,
We used to sell shirts when a couple of years ago. We were trying to sell shirts and going to events, and it's takes a lot of time and money. But anyways,
Well-
I appreciate that.
yeah, no problem. Man.
I'm
Just
sorry, I'm sorry
but yeah,
I was gonna
check it out. Check it out. It's cool
Yeah,
stuff.
and full disclosure that no money was exchanged or.
Oh yeah,
No.
no, this is.
No.
Well, there's rules and regulations we have to abide by, so
Yeah.
that has to be disclosed.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
no, would you like to say that?
Yeah, whatever he said. We're good.
I
Copy and paste
God.
what
yeah,
Ben
I have no idea what you're
said.
talking about, but okay, yeah.
Okay, we're good.
But I did make chicken wings and burgers, but they didn't eat. Paul ate. I didn't.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Well,
we're gonna sign off and
yeah.
get to that.
We're gonna eat.
right.
Thank everybody. Take care.
All right.
Good night.